Start the jazz. Go live. Hey, what's up? What's up? You want to watch some Star Trek? We're watching some Star Trek today. Two of the best episodes in just all of Star Trek in general, which is Homefront and Paradise Lost. Homefront and Paradise Lost, of course, is the episode where Leah Brahms joins a coup, and then later on is asked to murder a whole bunch of people, and she's like, nah, I'm not really into this anymore. And she goes home.
To Paradise, because she found it.
That is Leah Brahms.
Yeah, for sure.
How did I not know that?
Well, she wears a completely different outfit, and her hair is different, and I think her makeup is different too.
Yeah, it's like the Clark Kent of disguises, though.
Apparently it works. Let's go ahead and start that 5-minute timer before I forget. Yeah, Homefront and Paradise Lost are probably the episodes I've seen the most of DS9. The one I've rewatched the most times.
Nice.
They are great episodes, but probably Way of the Warrior for me. Most watched.
Way of the Warriors also perfect. For sure.
Pale Moonlight. I think I've still seen that more than any other Deep Space Nine episode.
Also perfect.
Great episode.
Garrick is my favorite character.
That is a fair answer.
Can I even change when the ads play on stream? Because oftentimes it just grays out all the options for me. I can either have monetization on or off. Yeah, it's not going to let me. I can turn off ads entirely, but that turns off a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know why that's
all
a thing,
that
but
sweet money.
Yep.
Fun.
We have the 5-minute countdown anyway. It's whatever. You're not going to miss the actual start of the episode if you get an ad. Yeah. Oh, if you have an ad blocker for some websites, I'd recommend uBlock Origin, which does allow you to do just certain specific sites. You don't have to turn it off entirely. Like the Google AdSense page, it doesn't play nicely with ad blocker, so I have it turned off there, but on for YouTube. It's a very good program, very good extension.
I think AdBlock Plus does the same thing also. Turn it off for certain websites.
Should do. Oh, and today I give thanks to the mailman. Because I probably would have overslept today's stream. Even though it's at 12 p.m. for me. They knocked real loud to deliver my new monitor, because my old one got kind of screwed up.
Yay.
So that's nice.
Did you get one of those 8K, like 48-inch curved monitors?
No, I actually went down from a 4K monitor to a 1440. But I increased the refresh rate from 60 to 144. And it has HDR. The most basic HDR there is, that's basically just not HDR at all, but it technically is HDR. So that's nice. I mostly was looking for one in particular that had G-Sync, because I've never had G-Sync, and I wanted G-Sync.
Well, as far as that HDR goes, there's one thing we know here in Germany. Technically has, is the best kind of has.
Exactly. Yeah, mail doesn't usually come on Sundays here. I don't know why it came today. It wasn't supposed to arrive until tomorrow. Tracking just got updated this morning. It was like, nah, we'll bring it today. It's cool. So yeah, and they just brought it over.
Now I'm just waiting for my Galaxy Buds Pro. That's my big wait.
Okay. A Galaxy what Pro?
The Galaxy Buds Pro, the new ones. The new
Okay.
headphones they have.
So
No, I think-
AirPods, but Samsung?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I don't have an iPhone. Though I'm starting to debate it when the iPhone 13 comes out. I might make the switch. They've added enough features that I might actually just switch over.
What was the feature that put you over the edge there?
Widgets. I have a crap ton of widgets on my phone right now, and moving off from that would just not be fun.
I don't know how they work on the phone, but on iOS on my iPad, widgets kind of suck.
Oh yeah, for some reason, the way they built iOS for the iPad, the widgets don't work the same way. You can't put them on the main screens, but on the iPhone you can. Why they differentiated that out, I have no idea.
Because it's Apple, and they just want to say fuck you sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Apple
Because
is the one company I refuse to buy from.
Because I'm
Never.
all over the place. I have a Pixel, so the Googlest of Google phones. I have an iPad and a Windows computer.
Alright, we're almost ready to start. Everyone be queued up to Homefront. Season 4, Episode 10, I believe. Homefront first.
They'll
Everyone
be giving
get
it.
ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, blur the screen, 1, play. Oh, you can see I just changed my resolution because now, yeah, now the blur's all screwed up. Let me... Oh, am I still recording technically 4K? I think I'm technically still actually recording 4K. Yep. Yeah, I am. It's fine. I can fix that later. For now, I can just adjust the scale.
4K for this 480p movie show. It's not a movie.
Well, I really just need... I downscale it to 1080p and stream it at 1080, but that's mostly just for the chat.
Makes sense.
Okay, so you're going to be able to see this for a bit while I fix it, but just pretend you don't. There we go.
Copyright.
Copyright? And I want to stream it at least 1080, so when I unblur the screen and show stuff, you can actually see it. What do you mean, Quark? What was the joke? What was the joke, Quark? I think I know what the joke was. What body part could someone mistake for an antenna? Let's not elaborate on that. I'll just pose the
finger.
question.
Obviously.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have an iPad if somebody made a decent, affordable Android tablet, but that doesn't exist
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Do they not?
No, they're all either too expensive or don't function as well as they should. The last one they made that was good was the Nexus 7, and it's so out of date now that it's obsolete.
That's why I have mine. I
Okay.
got a Pro, and I've had it for, God, at least 3 years now. Like, it works. It does the job I want, so I have it.
Why is Dax breaking into people's quarters and moving things?
Yeah, to answer
Yeah,
Hannah's
right,
question, my
Birdman.
answer to it would be this prank is actually kind of creepy. This
Yeah.
don't do that.
I know she's, quirky trill, but that's
Like,
weird.
if you're gonna
What's a
break into
little-
my house and rob me in real life, at least do it while I'm away. Don't just show up while I'm sleeping.
What's a little B&E between friends?
Come on.
I think she
E&E?
may have a sense of
Break and
entitlement from Curzon still having Odo's memories. I'm just making that up. I have no idea. But like when Odo and Curzon joined, it's
Yeah,
probably
Jerish
Curzon
Inyo.
fucking with Odo.
Did Kira lighten her hair? Or is that just some weird lighting reflection?
Wait a minute. The time index was 5/9/11.
That,
Dun dun dun.
I don't know if that was
It
intentional.
was an inside job by Rick Berman.
It couldn't have been intentional. This episode aired way before 9/11.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but not before 9/11 was planned.
Dun-dun-dun.
Rick Berman had it planned the whole time. Back in, what was this? Was this the early 90s?
Warp fuel melts duranium beams.
They call that vase Building 7.
So yeah, now the thing is, now if you don't want spoilers for this episode, one, you're watching the wrong stream. We're gonna spoil the episode. And two, it actually was an inside job this time. So that's nice.
That the changelings have reached Earth.
Changelings have reached Earth. I mean, it can't have been that hard to get there. You can just turn into, like, a human and just take a shuttle.
Yeah,
It's not a big
wouldn't be too
deal.
hard.
You just have to get your way on a Deep Space Nine at first and then get onto a freighter.
Yeah, they've probably been on Earth a lot longer than
Yeah.
just this moment.
Well, speaking of spoilers, just a reminder, it has now been long enough since Discovery Season 3 finished that we can just talk about it. There might be spoilers for Discovery Season 3 if you haven't seen that yet. That's going to be happening. Only if it's relevant. Don't go just spitting out spoilers just to mess with people. You know.
Like I spitting out rhymes.
Yeah, like you spit out rhymes. Yeah, the real 9/11 episode is in Enterprise Season 3. It's the whole premise there. Is that aired in like 2004, 2003?
I think it was less than a few months after 9/11, actually. That whole season was about essentially the U.S. being attacked and the U.S.'s response, right down to Archer using torture.
Let's see, Season 2 finale was, late 2002. So still pretty close.
Yeah.
And also it was in September 2002.
Dun, dun, dun.
The Lakota? Oh yeah, guest star Robert Foxworth, who's just going to be playing the same character he always plays. He's going to be the angry man in command, who's trying to manipulate people.
You know, it would have been interesting if Erica Bentine was actually Shelby.
Would have been interesting.
Oh, that would have been kind of interesting.
Was he a good guy in Babylon 5? I just remember he was also just the same character in Enterprise as a Vulcan.
It's the voice.
It is a nice voice. The size of the eggplant you're getting out of the garden.
Also, Sisko's dad is secretly an immortal being who has previously posed as an admiral.
Who tried to assassinate the Klingon Chancellor and Federation President, probably? Or just the Chancellor?
The President and the Chancellor. He was involved in both of them.
Good job, Brock.
One of the few mentions of Sisko's sister.
God, this would just be awful. If you move away from home, you still don't have an excuse to not show up for dinner. They're still gonna just harass you about it.
You have to be on another planet.
It's like, no, I've moved states. I can't come over all the time. It's like, no, just take a transporter. It's like, Dad. God, it'd be awful. The new aorta. Convenient. Yes, he's more machine now than man. Okay.
We don't need to watch.
Yeah, no, that can just happen off screen. We don't need to see that. How did that screen turn off? Nobody reached for the off button. How did that happen?
Read their minds and knew that they wanted to hang up.
It's always scanning their thoughts.
Maybe he hit the button on his end.
Jake, you can just say no. Jake, you're an adult. Just say no.
Is he 18 yet?
Probably. Oh, the first instance of the Battle of Britain. Miles, I don't think you can call them that. I don't think you can call Well, Herr Deutschland, have you ever called any of your people over there in Deutschland a cabbage crate? Perhaps a kraut?
Don't believe a kraut is at least people know what the hell you're talking about.
Not cabbage crate? That's not a common parlance?
No, I've been here for a while and I've never heard that.
Okay.
Is that a phrase for a German or for what they just called their planes?
That's okay. That's a good point.
Could just be a plane.
Could be the aircraft.
Yeah.
That could be a Luftwaffe.
It holds the
aircraft.
cabbage. Poor
I
Clive.
wonder how Colomini felt portraying, or not portraying, but at least just using that accent.
And he's probably
Like-
cool with it. I don't see why he would object.
He's just going from an British accent to an Irish accent.
Well, he is very Irish, though.
So Irish.
I don't know what his politics are regarding the United Kingdom, but it's funny to me that an Irishman is using an English accent.
Well, I do remember he actually did like some kind of commercial about, I think it was Brexit. I don't know. Maybe I'll look that up. Calm Meanie Brexit.
Hopefully, he's just an actor. Doesn't care.
He's not
Hopefully.
happy with Brexit.
Interesting. Okay.
Calm
I
Meanie
disagree,
sees the
but-
value of the EU. It's very important.
Oh, actually, no, never mind. Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with him being against Brexit. All I can say is that I hope that Data's reference to the Irish reunification of 2024 actually comes true. And it will probably, if it does, it'll probably be because of Brexit.
Oh, hey, Morn. Now, if we're talking about reunification here, and between Ireland and Northern Ireland, which of them is Vulcan and which of them is Romulus? I don't know enough about Ireland. Is one of them just evil Ireland?
I'm pretty sure each
Yeah,
island thinks the other island is an equal island, so it depends on
Gotcha.
who you ask.
Yeah, I'm
right.
sure it
Yeah,
does.
I mean that's true. The Romulans and Vulcans as well, though. I would say, from our perspective, the Romulans would be Northern Ireland.
Like regular Ireland, Ireland is the original Ireland, Northern Ireland split off.
Yeah.
Like how the Bajoran uniform is completely opposite, like the ranks on the opposite side and the comm badge is on the opposite side.
All right, Worf. That seems. Yeah, no, that's fair. More trouble than they were worth. People just killing each other over gods all the time, all kinds of conflict. Just kill the gods. It's not an issue anymore.
Then
Don't
they'll
have to
find
worry
other-
about it.
Then they'll just find other things to kill themselves over.
True. Here we are back at the, I believe it's Japanese Gardens and Reclamation Facility. Water reclamation. Has anyone ever been here? I do want to visit someday, but I've never made my way down to, I think
Never
they're in
took
LA.
the time.
I've been there once. It's been a while.
Okay.
What do you
People
mean?
wa-
They're in San Francisco.
Oh, you're right. 100% San Francisco, for sure. Yeah, that's Leah Brahms. Yeah, were people walking around there in Starfleet uniforms in the Japanese garden?
Was there what? Say it again.
People walking around in Starfleet uniforms in the garden,
Yeah, all the time.
playing with pads,
And crack.
staging coups.
Yeah, lots of crack.
Okay.
I have not been in Los Angeles long enough to explore. I've only driven through.
Okay.
Yeah, I went down there a few times.
But did you get to the garden?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
That's the only thing that I actually know is in LA. I don't know anything else there. There's a bunch of people, and there's a bunch of buildings, and there's some roads.
Well, you
There's
know,
probably some
Hollywood's in
restaurants
LA.
there. There's probably some
Acting-
theaters and museums there.
Cisco,
Acting-
why aren't you happy about your promotion? Come on.
Acting head of Starfleet security.
God, I think I would hate this restaurant too.
Right?
It's like, just leave me alone. I just want to eat my food.
Bread pudding is so good.
You come to Cisco's for a unique social experience. You don't come to
Yeah.
just quiet dining.
Yeah. Can you imagine a restaurant that's not concerned with money, but simply concerned with making the best food possible?
Seems, yeah, it'd probably be pretty good there. You know, I don't think I've ever actually had gumbo. I need to look up a gumbo recipe because I'm pretty sure no one around me sells gumbo.
I have no idea what gumbo is.
My people are from New Orleans, so I make it all the time. Not all the time, but pretty regularly.
I'm more of a jambalaya man myself, but
Good for
Jambalaya is good.
Jambalaya shrimp creole.
mm-hmm.
Mufaladas.
Yeah, you know, there would be a distinct lack of Karens in these kinds of restaurants because, I mean, you're not going to get a refund. There's no money. What are you going to send it back for? You're just going to get the same thing. It's no coupons. Nobody arguing. It would be so calm.
Next weekend, I will make you all gumbo.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Just fly it over here.
Well, let
You
me
gonna
look up,
do next
make
day
sure they
mail or
haven't opened
something?
any new restaurants where I am with gumbo.
You're not in Portland, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'm in a little town in Northern California.
No, God no, God no.
I mean, it'd only take me about 6 hours to drive there.
Hang on, there's a little cafe that showed up when I googled gumbo for my area. Let me see if they have it. Probably not. They probably just have, like, fancy bread. Burgers, kebab plates. No, there's definitely no gumbo here.
Wait, he just stole Jake's spot.
Yeah.
It's okay. He just got another spot. Wait, why are Jake and Joseph wearing the same thing?
Kind of. Yeah.
But Jake's is more childlike because he has the regular child two-tone outfit. What were you expecting, Nog? Of course
Wait.
it's school.
What does he think academy means?
Was he expecting it just to be a starship that he gets to go and serve on? Gotta go to class, Nog.
Oh,
Keep
come
in
on.
mind, Nog couldn't read until like 2 years ago, so like he's probably not familiar with the word academy.
Yeah. And he did
That's
learn
true.
real quick. It's pretty smart. Yes, despite popular belief, there are more cities in California than just LA, San Diego, and San Francisco. There is actually more to the state. It's real big. In fact, San Francisco is often called Northern California. It's not. It's in the middle. There's a whole half of the state left after Northern California.
Are you up by like? I don't want to get your docs.
I'm pretty near. I'm pretty near Oregon.
I was gonna say like Humboldt or.
You're pretty near Oregon border.
Shit.
You're in Eureka.
Wherever I am, I don't have
There
gumbo.
you are.
No gumbo.
Ugh, Cisco, don't say it.
What's wrong with Red Squad?
There's a little episode called Valiant that I can't stand.
Oh
So-
god, that
Oof.
episode. Ugh.
I mean, the episode Valiant. How does it make you feel?
Annoyed.
Murderous.
The episode is actually quite good, I think.
Don't worry.
It's good because the characters are as awful as they are.
Yeah, if you
It
hate
does
the
have a
characters
very
and want them to
punchable
die, I've got good news for you.
That whole episode is just concentrated Kai win.
They did a good job hiring someone with a punchable face. I'll give them that.
Good writing.
Yeah, Jaroshinyu is the only member of his species that we ever see, I think. Think he's the only one. He's pretty cool, though. I'm still not totally sure if that's a hat or his hair. It has the same design as his shirt, but I mean, maybe he designed his shirt after his hair, I don't know. It's an alien. This feels like something you can't do. I mean, effective, but you gotta be careful with that. You're lucky you didn't have any security in here.
Right?
Oda would have got shot.
And blood testing works.
Yeah, for sure. 100% blood testing's a great test.
Well, Bashir says it works, so it must work.
Even Martok says it works.
I just had a weird idea. If you were a changeling and you want to replace someone, but you weren't sure how to hide the body, you can just shapeshift over the body
Just a thin layer.
and just a thin layer, and then like control the body basically to walk it out somewhere, and then like shapeshift shit the body out
Yeah.
like somewhere.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
that
great
might work.
idea.
Yeah.
If you want to be simpler
they
about it,
can't be transparent. Yeah.
you could probably also just take the form of like a drone because we're in the future and just drive it out.
Yeah.
I think there's a jewel on that. I think it's a version thing.
The phaser. Are we sure we want to have a phaser in the president's office? Are we sure about that?
It's a tingly phaser.
You can probably turn up the power on it, unless they're just running it off like its own battery. It doesn't have enough power in it. Well, it's very nice of Odo to volunteer for this.
Right?
Just being shot over and over again.
So that would mean everything in the room would have to survive a 3.5.
Yes.
So like even your like cotton shirts and all of that stuff would survive phasers at 3.5.
I mean, these kinds of phasers are magical things. They don't damage literally anything. They're perfectly safe somehow.
Actually, if you think about how many things could go wrong in like various episodes, it'd be okay to actually have these in every room.
I mean, I
There are plenty
guess
of
just to shoot
storylines that
intruders.
this could resolve.
How
Well, it
is
could
a
also
cadet
cause
just-
way more problems.
how could the cadet just stroll into an area where they're doing like high level planet wide security testing?
Right?
Strolled in there.
Well, you see, he's a friend of the captain, so it's cool.
Everything.
Yeah, Nog here is trying to work in some Starfleet nepotism. Close as he can get.
Secret Service knows that he does this all the time. He's the only Ferengi in Starfleet. This is all he does. He lobbies.
He lobbies, he bargains.
He lobbies for himself. He's here all day.
But he's not even offering Cisco anything in trade. He's not even trying to bribe him.
Starfleet has evolved him.
A group of elite cadets. Presumably they're still worse than, just regular fully trained officers.
He is bargaining with Cisco's literal ego. You can do all of this. Think of all of the clout that you can get for promoting me. It works.
What's the squad that Wesley joins when they kill that kid? That's not Red Squad, is it?
Is it Alpha Squad or is it Red Squad? I think it's
Death
Nova
Squad.
Squad, isn't it?
Nova Squadron. That's right. No, not Chess Club Squad. That's a different squad.
Roostai Squad.
The Roostai. As we learned yesterday. I noticed in that carriage that went by, in the establishing shot, someone was wearing Joseph Sisko's weird plaid rainbow shirt. Reuse that uniform.
They kind of traded around.
Oh yeah, he went to the Pennington Writing School. I mean, he's not actually gonna go, but he's visiting. Checking it out.
It's good to know that families are still having these arguments in the future too.
Yeah. People are still people. Really? Your restaurant is more important than the station? You think it's okay if Cisco goes gallivanting around the galaxy, leaving the station unattended?
Yeah.
I don't think I could tell the difference between Creole and Cajun. But then I've never had either. Literally
It's
never
mostly
had
red.
either.
It's mostly
Yeah, wait,
like the
Why?
it's the use of certain ingredients like tomatoes,
Okay.
but they're very similar.
Yeah, they just don't. Restaurants don't have that where I am, and I've never actually thought about it to go and buy ingredients to make it myself.
I'm surprised that there's like none. There are a couple in Portland.
But I ain't in Portland.
I know. I'm just saying. West
Portland's a
Coast.
big city,
Oh,
at least
gotcha.
comparatively.
There was one in Portland. I think it was off of Mississippi. I think it's called Miss Delta. If the person whoever was speaking, if
yeah.
you're in Portland,
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm not in Portland right now, but used to live there.
I got a bunch of Mexican restaurants where I am. Bunch of Mexican, including a Taco Bell, very important. Honestly, like half the restaurants in this town are Mexican. There's people around here got some kind of obsession. Mexican's good and all, but do we really need that many? Jeez, you don't have to be a jerk about it. What's wrong with you?
Oof.
I don't know, that looked pretty convincing, Odo. That's a good seagull. No, half the restaurants are not Taco Bell. We just have the one Taco Bell. Just the one. I think we have one. Yeah, just one. We have an Indian place. I think just one. Couple Japanese places. No Creole. No Cajun.
All right, this makes more sense with the
Yeah.
scale. Yeah, there's only one Indian place in town.
Dun,
Then, yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
I'm not entirely certain there's only one Indian place, but there's only one Indian place that I'm aware of. There's a whole downtown area that I just never go to. I don't actually know what's there.
I'm 2 blocks away from my downtown area. There's a saffron and curry place. That's all I got. I never go there. Too many people.
So I never understood this about that plot line. Like in that whatever episode that was where the changeling took over the Defiant and wanted to start a war,
Sure.
that changeling would have killed Odo in that.
Yes.
But now the founders are like, oh, Odo actually killed someone else. Forget the attempted murders of
Well,
like
see,
Odo.
it's very easy to explain. Rules for thee, not for me.
Okay, got it. When you
The
say it
Great
like
Link
that.
is infallible.
He's one of us, but he's on their sides.
It makes sense when you say it that way.
He looks very nautical. He looks like he should be in the movie Master and Commander. Is he in any naval movies? He definitely should be. He looks like old Russell Crowe, honestly.
He does.
I don't suppose they're related. Oh, it's the sad music. Good job, Joseph.
I love this next scene, especially how Cisco handles the security officer.
Just grab a menu.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look. That is not a great hairstyle for you. That does not suit you. What are you doing?
Someone tell that security officer to come holler at me.
Right? He needs to either grow it out a good bit longer or cut it down. That is an awkward length right there.
This guy
Of
looks
the
like
security officer?
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
I mean, obviously that's just my
wardrobe.
opinion, but I'm not convinced by that hair length on that guy.
I'll allow it.
Now, Cisco's hair length is pretty good. Granted, we have three Ciscos in this scene, but they're all pretty good. Jake's probably the worst hair here. So when they take your blood, do you get to keep the blood, or do they take it with them? Do they just take
I
your
was
blood
gonna-
away?
I was gonna say, like, what do they do with those vials after this? They do this all day. Do they carry around like a wheelie briefcase or like an anti-grab thing?
I mean, later on, we're going to see, yes, they do have a wheelie bin of blood. I need to do some important Googling real quick. Let's see. Indian food. Okay, I have confirmed that we only have one Indian place. Just making sure there wasn't one hidden in downtown.
I was late to the party. Can you get like gumbo at an Indian place? Is that a thing?
No, they don't have gumbo.
So we're looking for gumbo, but we're talking about there exists no Indian places.
They have various biryanis. They have tandoori chicken. They have curry. Yeah, Ben has a sister. We never meet her, but he has a sister. She's mentioned like twice.
Yeah.
It's a waste of plot line.
Yes, exactly. You're bleeding all over the potatoes. Yeah, Ben's kinda not in a good space right now, thinking his family members are shapeshifters. I've never had occasion to accuse my family members of being shapeshifters, but you never know. What about the Kobayashi Maru?
Kirk found his way around it.
One
was the way
person found his
through.
way around it. Oh, good job. You gave your father a heart attack, Ben.
It's a good thing that you have those two stripper poles installed in the kitchen last week. Otherwise, it would just drop, man.
Okay, no cure for atherosclerosis in the future.
Definitely no cure for that if you are someone that doesn't listen to their doctor.
Now,
Yeah.
the real question is it acceptable to shame him for not going to a doctor when it's preventable?
Sure, why not? Let's shame him.
Come on, Dad, yeah.
See, I'm still hung up on what they do with the blood. Because if they take away the blood, that would probably factor in significantly to Joseph Sisko's paranoia about it. It's like, what are they doing with the blood? Why are they keeping it?
Did we ever actually see them do anything with the blood?
No, they just sort of lowered it off camera, and then it never showed up again. Maybe they put it in their
Oh,
pockets.
Why don't they DNA test it?
Who knows? I mean, I guess if someone has been replaced by a shapeshifter, and that shapeshifter absorbed their blood, then that ain't gonna help too much. But they don't know that shapeshifters can even do that. Well, Joseph, I mean, you are in fact dying, so go lay down.
Jeez, Grandpa.
He's not
This is a restaurant.
dying. He's just sick.
He's gonna be dying real fast if he doesn't lay down. Completely disregarding his own health. What is wrong with you, Joseph? Many worlds, actually.
At least two. Bare minimum.
Oh, power outage. Yep. Don't worry, had one of those last week. It only lasted like 20 minutes. It's cool. Oh yeah, the wind did pick up significantly today, so if the stream suddenly ends, then, yeah. Might have just lost power. Luckily, though, the NVIDIA software is filtering out all the wind sounds, so you won't have to get that on stream.
Pew 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 pew.
That's not wind sounds.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's obviously a painting.
No, it's not. The sun is actually coming up.
And they're actually in
going.
Paris.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that some kind of head wrap.
I mean, they
have to
match
agree
the
they're
angle
the
of the
difference.
lighting really well.
I don't know the difference between Cajun and Creole. So, not
Apparently
invented.
ingredients, like tomatoes.
No, they're people. They're both like French-speaking people that are remnant from the French Louisiana days. And one of them makes gumbo, the other makes jambalaya. They both make alligator soup.
Um,
I'm being funny, but they live in a swamp, so the joke is that like they actually cook the alligators because they kind of do. Gumbo.
Alright, I found
Okay.
a jambalaya recipe, and I do need to go to the grocery store soon.
Okay, alligator. Don't forget the alligator.
They definitely do not sell alligator here, but I can get some chicken.
Self-replicating computer protocol.
That'll do.
chicken and shrimp.
Although
The nearest
they only
alligator is a few
told me-
thousand miles away. Might take a bit of work.
Or not shrimp.
I-
Chicken and sausage.
What about beef? Beef is a good standard for most meals.
No,
What's wrong with beef?
not in jambalaya.
Alright,
Nope.
alright.
Incorrect. Never.
Wait, who's
ever,
incorrect?
ever. You
I
are.
do.
I think you're coming from the chili mindset. You got to get away from the chili mindset.
Hang on, the president has a little tuft of hair coming out from under the thing. It is 100% a turban or hat of some kind.
He's a goat and a turtle.
Not impossible.
His species is grazerite, so that implies that he like chews cud.
He does actually have like a little like goat horn looking thing serving as a chin, yeah.
Now,
I wonder.
are we sure Starfleet has enough troops to garrison the entire Earth? Or are we just
Yeah.
fortifying like the important cities like Paris and San Francisco?
And the
Je-
street in front of Joseph Sisko's house,
Yeah.
restaurant.
The Jem'Hadar can have everything else.
The Jem'Hadar will never take Des Moines.
They'll never take the Creole restaurant.
The Jem'Hadar are going to invade Cleveland? Not Cleveland.
I wonder
Utah.
what the state of emergency was during the Borg scare. I'm guessing they're talking about First Contact.
That's the assault on Sector 001.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing by when he said board scare, he meant First Contact and not like Wolf 359 and when they were going towards Earth then.
Yeah, probably.
But I wonder
That's
what
true,
the
though. Wolf 359 would have been like a scare.
Yeah, because armed Starfleet officers everywhere are so reassuring.
Against the Borg who just completely ignore phasers. Did they fill the streets with armed troops armed with swords? What did they do?
Maybe they're mercy soldiers.
Also, yeah, for some reason the Lakota is the only ship in orbit. Not only are they the only ship in orbit, Starbase 1, Earth Space Dock, also does not have transporters they can use. Just the Lakota.
the International Space Station was not fitted with transporters.
Hang on, Space Dock has a is Space Dock's transporter like only linked to Starfleet HQ?
I mean, it's a
Space
transporter.
Dock?
It's got to work for
Right.
just about everywhere these days.
This is before we've got. I don't think we've seen the planet-wide transporters like in Picard in this time era.
Well, not the ones you can just walk through, but it could do site-to-site transport. Just from a
Yeah, they
transporter bay.
exist. They just never show them off.
So this episode is loaded with not racist things, but vague generalizations. Odo says, "You humanoids always do what's worse for you," and Cisco's like, "I agree."
I mean, he's
Like,
right.
really? But then the other thing is, this guy, Admiral Layton, he says that, oh, he's a great right. He doesn't know what it is to defend Earth. So he's implying the Federation president isn't like president of like loyal enough to Earth.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
got that too.
Layton has some issues. He's
Lots of
it's
space
not
racism.
great. Oh wait,
Space
1 minute
is
countdown to the next episode, which is just part 2. Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost.
Make sure you're at 0 and not skipping the recap.
Yeah, we're including the recap here. So if you queue up the episode and then like play a few seconds, see if it skips the recap automatically, then just manually scroll back to 0. Should be good.
You want to hear
Put on a little music for the stream for 30 seconds.
Hey guys, happy Sunday.
Yes, that'd be something.
Happy Sunday?
DS9 Sunday.
Okay.
No reason you can't be happy. So Sunday's a good enough reason.
All right,
I'm for
everyone
it.
press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Pew pew pew.
Oh, apparently it's Monday for some other people. Thanks, time
Sorry,
zones.
dude.
It was so much fun when I was a kid, and like I knew I'd have to stay up the next night to watch the 11 p.m. two-parter, second part. It was just like hearing that was probably like the happiest thing of my teenage years. I was like, yes, we're watching the part 2 of the part 2 episode.
Yeah, Australia. I mean, Australia is pretty big, but if you're in like Sydney, it should be 8 a.m. there, I think. Is it 8? 8 a.m. on Monday? I hate Lore Reloaded, thank you.
Hey, lore
Glad you
reloaded.
like. How's it going? How's the lore? How's the reloading?
Love your show.
It's entire power relay system. So they don't
Leah
have any
Brahms.
local generators. It's strictly
Leah Brahms was not in Starfleet. She was just.
No, I think they do
civilian.
have local generators, but just there was a virus that infected everything.
I suppose. Yeah, okay.
No, but it's implied the whole Earth was on one planetary power grid, and that's what failed.
Is that why they could only transport from one ship?
Yeah. There's no power anywhere on Earth.
Okay, that's. I'll give them that. That's okay.
Well, now there's power somewhere on Earth because they just restored power. But
It's funny. Someone brought up 9/11 parallels in the preview towards the end of the show yesterday, and
Who would do that? No one would ever do that.
I think it was Michael, but
Yeah.
in 2004, that was like 3 years after 9/11. We had a blackout on the whole eastern seaboard, and then for a while there, it's like there was a worry. So my friend, as a joke to me, he just puts on the radio, and he comes running down the stairs, saying that the radio just announced that it was a terrorist attack, and obviously it wasn't. But he was just having a good laugh at my expense.
Not cool. I get it, but ooh.
Yeah, but sometimes the power goes out after some other
No, I
shady
noticed-
stuff goes on.
in the president's office here, they don't have any lights on or anything. But there is a lot of natural light in this office. Look at that. Goes right out into the ocean. Right to the
I imagine
west.
it's got kind of the same kind of sea view that Tony Stark has.
Sorry, there was like a record player phonograph while you were talking.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. That was that,
Got some fresh groceries. They got some bread. They got some leaves. I think I saw some grapes in there.
This is totally like right now how it's hard running a restaurant. There's a lockdown. Oh, the restaurants.
Luckily, in the current lockdown, you do not have to only sell to soldiers patrolling the streets.
You don't have to give blood to people.
No giving blood.
It's interesting. The last time I watched this episode, lockdowns were not even a point in looking at it.
Yeah.
A bullion. An evil bullion.
They always look so happy.
We never see evil bullions. What's going on here?
So, what is the motto for Starfleet Academy?
It's,
There's knowledge.
Latin.
I'm
Two
sure we'll
words.
find it
Let's start with A.
this summer in Star Trek.
I think it's written on this thing. On this.
I mean, that says
on this
ex astra
banner
scientia.
Yeah.
That means
Okay,
from
I
the
think
stars
that's-
knowledge.
Yeah. Well, I've read once it was Ad Astra, but that's the other motto of Starfleet Academy.
I think you might be thinking of Ed Asner, the actor.
So I've read it in like a Vulcan fiction book. Like I think that maybe that's a anyway. Ad Astra to the stars.
I mean, yes, in a way, Leighton is kind of right. Just, he's right in that Earth really needs more security. Because it has basically zero for just all of Star Trek. Even starships have basically zero security. Nog just walked into highly classified meetings. People on starships just show up or disappear. Nobody ever notices.
Oh yeah, no, anyone can walk into the Pentagon. It's not a big deal.
Though staging a coup to put everything under martial law might be going a little far with it to solve those problems. Might be
Yeah,
a
and
little
I could-
excessive.
And I can understand the lack of security when there hasn't been like a bombing on the planet for over 100 years.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can see how they would lack security a little bit.
Yeah, they basically go from the Zindi up until the Breen. No one has ever attacked Earth.
I was going to raise that.
The
point.
Breen attack Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Dominion War. Okay.
Yes. Not for a
A
while.
little bit. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
the US hasn't been
200
properly
feet.
attacked by a hostile nation for a long time. We got lots of security.
I mean, we have two natural we have two oceans.
The US is basically impossible to invade.
Right. Unless you're
That's-
Canada or Mexico, both of which are dependent upon the US economically. So
It's a good
they
thing
can't,
that
they're
all
not
of those.
exactly invaded.
It's interesting that large A territory is mostly possible because all of the states united. But like legitimately, that's
Right.
huge. As long as they're all working together, you can't do anything. It's simple.
Right.
Oh,
Luckily,
yeah, yes, there
Mexico
was
lost that
danger,
war a while
sort of.
ago, so we got all the way to the coast.
Right.
Took that territory off them.
I bought a whole bunch of it too. Yeah.
Yeah. We got good geography. Or we just made it that way more accurately.
We acquired good geography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manifest destiny.
Yes, we manifested.
Yeah, no, it's true. There was a push to the Pacific that was like a little bit. No, it was like the war for the West is won. You know, they had to like pacify it, settle it, and it wasn't done until,
Pacify
like,
is a very polite term for what they did. Pacify the West.
Yeah,
Mostly it was a
well,
lot of murder. There was a lot of murder.
Wait, you know
That's-
something interesting?
Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, yeah, that's how all of the borders are. The entire world. They're all built on murder and conquest.
But you know something interesting. I was reading about how in the 1800s there was a family in West Virginia. They were like all cousins, but they were like really violent and like
Of course they
terrorizing
were.
people. And then so the thing is though, they even killed like the federal marshal who came into town. So it's like, you had like little pockets of like rural, outlawness. Even in the original 13 colonies, right? When you if you think about how late federal power really projected to every corner of the country.
Hang on. What are those red jars there? Is that Tabasco?
It looks
Yeah,
like
they
it.
don't say it though.
That looks like Tabasco. Now, is Tabasco traditionally used in Creole food or Cajun food? I don't know which one Cisco makes.
And it's just like red pepper oil. So
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you can. I throw it in my jambalaya all the time.
Okay.
You just gotta be very careful with it because it's not always the best tasting thing in the world.
Tabasco is made in Louisiana, so
Okay. That's probably fair then, yeah. Yeah, Tabasco and Tapatio.
Goes good with alligator. Sorry. I'm done. I'm done with the Louisiana jokes.
Nice zoom in.
Add a little more vibrato, increase the volume a bit. Is this the same Red Squad guy that we... No, this is a different guy.
yeah, it's a
From the
different guy.
Valiant. He's just also looks very punchable.
Yeah.
Which we'll be able to see. There it is. God, look how punchable he is.
I like how the light fixtures behind Cisco on those posts are literally just ceiling fixtures attached to that thing on their side.
I love how Cisco is like turning on the rank and the patriotism or whatever and all of that in order to get this information. It's so good.
Yeah, I
So
mean, the bullion. Good.
I'm looking at a picture of the Valiant episode, the crew. The captain is definitely a different actor.
Yeah, this
That's
guy's
someone
not the
else.
captain. He's on the ship though.
Okay, it's just some guy on the ship.
And this episode is essentially when they establish that the Valiant starts its mission, because Red Squad just disappears after these events.
And he says they won't be returning to Earth for a long time.
Yep.
I'll say I wasn't sure if that meant he was like killing them or
Yeah,
No,
I
he just
think
sent
it
them
means
away.
They're spacing them, basically. If you watch The Expanse, space means just open up the airlock and just let them out into open airspace.
So, not having seen the majority of Discovery or Picard or any of those, do they ever make a connection between Red Squad and Section 31?
No, Red Squad is
No.
never mentioned.
Oh, okay.
It might be mentioned in Lower Decks, I don't remember, but they make tons of references there.
I don't remember one.
And then we have Wesley Crusher's Ensigns of Command, right? So that's Nova Squad. We were mentioning that earlier.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
what
it's
episode was?
Nova Squadron is what he's in. It's not Ensigns of Command though.
Yeah, that's
I don't remember the name of that
episode's called
episode.
The First Duty.
That's what it is.
Right.
Because the first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth.
That's very interesting.
Ensigns of
you
Command is the
Odo
one where
said-
Data is trying to get the colonists off that planet.
You
That the
noticed
Shellyak
it.
are coming to murder.
Okay, thanks.
What did you just pull out of the freezer, man? Is that
That's
like a jar of milk?
It's an old school jar of milk.
They do
I don't
not
think it's
have
actually-
that in the 24th century.
They don't have
if
milk
anybody,
or jars?
If anybody would have sourced actual milk from a live cow, it would be Joseph Sisko.
True.
How does the milking industry, the dairy industry, work in an Earth where there are telepathic species that may or may not be able to talk to
I'm-
cows?
I mean, Riker said we no longer enslave animals for food purposes, but he was probably just lying, honestly.
Well, for food.
Well, it's not enslave. It's you let the cow go on the farm, and then you tell her to come back, at dawn. But she's
I
allowed
mean,
to
but-
roam.
Yeah,
It's like any movie.
the same
We
way
know that
Cisco-
O'Brien ate real meat growing up.
The same way that Joseph Sisko still runs a restaurant, even though, cooking shouldn't still be a thing and
There's no
money isn't
money.
still a thing. I'll bet you there are farmers who still raise cattle just for the sake of raising cattle and milk them.
Well, I think cooking would still be a thing. I mean, people still cook even though we have frozen microwave dinners.
Only because
no,
the
but-
microwave
Well, that's
dinners
the
are
parallel.
awful.
Yeah,
they're
that's-
totally
that's-
awful.
That's the
replicator
parallel.
food is also not supposed to be the best either. I said that
True.
a couple times.
You say that
Yeah.
a few times. But the other thing is, though, well, you can replicate the ingredients and still cook. By the way,
Well, you can replicate
sure.
some not
No,
organic,
the same,
substandard ingredients and then cook with them, but then the whole
Right,
meal
I mean-
won't be.
the same way you can get shredded cheese in the pouch, or you can actually grate it yourself like a pro.
Are those his hands, or is he wearing gloves?
I have always hoped that he's wearing gloves.
Michael Jackson gloves.
Jerix, by the way, you sound like you're across the room from your microphone.
Yeah, if we just had replicators, not just bland frozen food, I would absolutely never cook again. Takes
Yeah.
so much time.
Yeah, I think people criticize replicators in Star Trek because Starfleet replicators are designed to make whatever food you want, but also make it nutritious, so it's probably also still garbage. But I would
Maybe.
bet that replicators could be reprogrammed to scan a dish and exactly duplicate it at the molecular level, and it wouldn't be healthy. It would just be a complete duplicate. So you could make the perfect meal, scan it, and then make the perfect meal every single time.
I'm not
Would
sure
be
if it
good
was.
for me.
I'm not sure if it's just in my head canon or if it was actually mentioned, but the idea of gourmet replicators.
Mm.
I think that's
that
headcanon, but I can see that happening.
How does
Like
the
that-
density work in a society without money?
So yeah, we've pretty thoroughly established at this point that Admiral Layton, not Professor Layton, that I was about to say, that's someone else. Admiral Layton is, yeah, he's trying to just declare martial law, take over the government, which uncool. Not allowed to do that.
The latest term is artisanal replicators.
Wow, this sounds so familiar these days. Oh no. It's a desperate act of patriotism. It was necessary and justified. No, you can't. No.
Yeah, that's
So
the cycle of politics.
This president is completely worthless. He just knows the last thing anybody tells him.
Yeah, that's true too.
That sounds so familiar.
I do like the way he dresses, though.
He's very snazzy. I don't know if it would work on a human, but he looks very snazzy as an alien.
He pulls it off with
Even-
the giant bandana thing.
I like the goat horn thing too. The turban on the goat horns.
Really? Did you take a poll? Did you actually ask people, or
They don't
He's a
need to poll.
politician. He's a politician, so I'm
he
sure
can
did.
feel the approval ratings?
He
No,
just
they don't
checks
need the poll. They
Facebook.
have strategically placed beta Zeds who constantly scan at least 1,000 people in each area.
Oh,
That is
okay.
not
Statistically
unreasonable.
significant sample.
I mean,
They
that's
could
pretty
totally do that.
unreasonable, but that doesn't mean they won't do it.
Yeah, I mean that's how 538 does everything.
Yeah, 538 shows you just how useful it is too.
Yeah, Cadet Shepard is yeah, they're off in the USS Valiant, going off and getting themselves killed. Yeah, this guy in Enterprise, Admiral Layton, he's the guy, administrator of Lost in the Vulcan High Command. He's the guy who stages the invasion of Andoria.
I never figured out if in Enterprise we were supposed to think that he was just a corrupt Vulcan or if he was actually a Romulan.
I think he is a corrupt Vulcan, because I remember the Romulans saying at the end The reunification of our people.
Yeah,
So I
the
think that
Romulans are
implies
way
the
out
Romulan
there.
is a Romulan, he's a Vulcan.
I have good coffee here.
Did you ever notice that the Romulans on Enterprise wear the Romulan uniforms that were made for Nemesis because they ran out of money in Enterprise?
I did not. I did notice, however, that the main Romulan in Enterprise is played by the guy with the jaw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I never realized that.
Man, I like that they made that choice with the uniforms, and now I know it's for a sad reason.
Oh, the Nemesis Romulan uniforms are actually, I think, the best Romulan uniforms. They look far more reasonable
Yeah,
than
and-
the TNG
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Movie uniforms have huger budgets compared to television, so.
Does Cisco know how to fight shapeshifters? I don't think he's ever fought a shapeshifter. He just has a shapeshifter security guard.
Well, he knows more about them than anyone else, so.
Yeah.
Hey, what voice
But-
are we going to watch the episode today?
Yeah.
He knows more about shapeshifters than anyone, but all he really knows is they can shapeshift.
And put in a
No,
parking lot.
you know what?
Nah.
What's kind of great. I mean, like being a writer is hard. So they have this arc where Cisco's dad is the crazy one, like, oh, you guys never visit, So you have the anguish of taking care of an older relative, which we all kind of go through, and then but he's the one who guides him to the politically correct philosophy at the end, like what to do about martial law.
Which is just, don't.
Mhm.
Don't martial
Yeah.
law.
See,
Yeah, this
there
is another
comes a-
reference to the Zenkathi War, at least one of them.
See, there comes a time. Did you say it was mentioned 3 times? Or I
The
thought
Zenkathi War or the phrase "it comes a time"?
there comes a time because Scotty says it on the
Oh,
Enterprise.
right, I did look that up, didn't I? I don't remember. Let me look it up again.
Like Scotty says it. Dr. Noah in the James Bond episode says it, and then Cisco says it here. But I could
Right,
have swore
search in all
The-
scripts. The phrase "comes a time."
They didn't elaborate on this in any other episode, but it's kind of really cool. Like this was his former commanding officer who taught him the ropes, who gave him his chops. So it's hard to like be because he accuses him of being disloyal here. Like he says, "I wish I taught you more about loyalty," and
Oh,
It's-
here comes,
it's a
comes
real
the
thing.
worst laugh in Star Trek.
What do you mean? What do you have against Colin Meaney's laugh?
Why is the changeling still keeping up the accent? But anyway,
He's really good at shapeshifting.
This evil laugh is just so bad.
It's perfect.
it's perfect. I'm in the perfect. You know how he said cult classic? It's cult classic.
So they say "comes a time" 8 times and "come a time" 1 time. So a total of 9. It's
okay,
unnatural.
okay.
This is great though. It's like, I mean, this is what being an actor is all about, right? Like you're in a grind, and then now you have to be like, all right, you're gonna be a shapeshifter, and you're gonna act all shifty.
He's really exaggerating all his facial expressions here.
He has like these
Yeah.
tics.
He's having fun. I love it.
Were you guys saying that his accent is British here? Because like,
No, he
No,
was
it's
doing
not
a British accent in the very beginning in the
Oh.
Battle of Britain.
okay, there we go. That makes some
Yeah,
more sense.
he was doing a Cockney accent specifically. Yeah.
Going up and have another crack at the Jerry's.
Yeah, when they're wearing their pilot uniforms.
Yeah. 4 shapeshifters. Not counting Constable Odo, of course.
Oh, this is true though. It's like you're like the paranoia of crowds, the madness of crowds, is more terrifying than any single attack.
Is that the laugh you meant? Because that was pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's the laugh I meant.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
God, it just seems so awkward and awful.
What do you have against Colin Meaney?
I mean, it makes sense.
Absolutely nothing. I
Ryan,
love
he's a
Colin
changeling.
Meaney.
It kind of makes sense for it to be a little awkward. I mean, it's
It's like
using
that.
him as a puppet.
What was it that Penel? It was the Dick Dastardly. There was that whole cartoon race thing. But anyway, it's the bad guys campy laugh, like
Yeah.
Neffy Beaumont.
I think all of the changelings are a little theatric like that, actually.
This advice is to the rescue.
The shapeshifters have a strong sense of dramatic flair.
We find it important
Yeah,
in dealing
they like
There
to
comes the
act.
time. There, he just said it again.
The changelings are just natural Shakespeareans.
Would you like to know all of the instances of There Comes a Time?
I
Do you wanna
kind
know all
of
of them?
would.
All right. So there'll come a time when all you need to remember is love. When all you do remember is love, rather.
Who
There
said
comes
that?
a time when a house is... That was Guinan.
Oh,
And then Dr. Noah says there comes a time when a house has been so damaged by termites that you must not only blah, blah, blah. It's really long.
You must
Cisco's-
blah, blah, blah.
Cisco says there comes a time when you must accept the orders of a superior officer. Then this Cisco says there comes a time in any man's life when he must stop thinking and start doing. There comes a time when one must face reality. There comes a time in a man's life that you cannot know when he looks down at the first smile of his baby girl and realizes he must change the world for her. That was Admiral Jarok.
oh yeah.
And then
Oh,
Hoftel, I don't know who that is, but their name is Hoftel, says there comes a time when all parents will give up their children for their own good.
Halftel was an admiral. I forget where he was though.
Oh, he's the guy who wanted to take Lal away.
That's who he is. Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. He wants Data to give up Lal, and there comes a time when all parents must give up their children for their own good. And then some guy named Scott who's talking to Picard. Oh, Scotty, it's talking about. Scotty's talking to Picard and said, there comes a time when a man finds he can't fall in love again. And then Crusher says, there comes a time in a young man's life when he doesn't want to stay with his poor senile mother.
Thank you for that.
No probs.
so this is like a staged coup followed by an actual coup attempt?
Well, the
Wait,
first
hang on,
half
hang on.
was like a
Sorry,
prelude to
sorry,
the coup to
sorry,
get
sorry,
it
sorry.
popular
Sorry,
support for it.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is the amazing thing. When I was pre-watching this episode, the names that he says here is when we're talking about 9/11 and the post 9/11 response. The names of the people transferred. One of them is Snowden.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
It's a common enough name, but I think it's pretty miraculous.
Miraculous is a good word for it, actually.
Sorry, I get really excited sometimes.
I keep hearing Professor Layton when he says that. It's just we won't stop.
What? Wait, what do you hear?
Instead, I hear Professor Layton.
Ah, you're welcome.
So that is Leah, right?
Yeah, that's Leah
It's the
Brahms.
same actress. Yes.
No wonder, because my mind did say it, like my subconscious. Then somebody said in the chat as soon as we started the episode.
Captain of the Lakota, that's an Excelsior class ship.
Yeah, so
An Excelsior
basically,
class is the best class.
Leighton is filling up all of Starfleet with his cronies.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a coup.
He's making a lot of political appointments to get people who support him in. Who would do that?
Only every politician ever.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
But
He is once
since
again asking for your military support.
The Mitten Gang.
Starfleet is the military, right? Navy. So it's like
I mean, they say they're not, but they are.
It's
I mean, they say they're
it's-
not, but they are.
yeah, they are. So it's understood though, then that you're supposed to have civilian control of over the military. So it's really bad for the military to take over the civilian government.
What's going to happen?
Thank God.
What's going on?
Thank God. Odo rescues him at the end.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, blood
Last
test. Looks like
episode
blood.
of DS9. All over.
Throw him in jail.
That looks like an actual like blood extraction tube that we would find in a regular lab today.
Cisco's been a shapeshifter this whole time. Admiral Layton was right.
They're called vacutainers, I believe, if anyone wants to look that up.
And President, do you want to still look at the evidence? Or is it tainted now?
Do you want to test again? Like, give me another one. Do the other arm. Let this dude behind me do it.
Like, can I just, like, cut my hand and bleed out on the table just to prove it that he's faking? Come on.
Yeah. Think faster. Ben, come on.
Yeah, this president is really slow because Cisco was the one who alerted you to the changeling threat. There'd be no way that Cisco would be a changeling.
Well, the changeling's whole thing is they want to create chaos, and if the president thinks that's what Cisco wants to do,
Okay.
create dissension among the Admiralty.
True.
What's this actor's name? Who's this guy? Not Avery Brooks. I know who he is.
Jeff Foxworth, I think.
I don't think it's Jeff. I think is it Robert Foxworth?
Robert, yeah, I think that's right, yeah.
Because I think you're thinking of Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian.
Mm.
Yep, Robert Foxworth.
Temporarily, you say? Until the changeling threat has been neutralized. What a nice, convenient timetable that doesn't actually have any definitive end.
January 6th is the big day.
Someone who can protect them.
Hi, YouTube. I'm Lovin. We're talking about Star Trek.
That's what food is, dude.
Do shapeshifters eat? Do the guards know he's not a shapeshifter?
They know that they would have to like turn their.
Oh yeah.
The guards
Actually-
do know this. He's in like a minimum security.
No, I think this scene is going to establish that they don't know. They actually think he's a changeling.
Couldn't he like request a second test, like hit him with a phaser?
Wait, is that Lieutenant Primin? No, it's not Lieutenant. Wait,
That's true though.
No.
They are scared of him, like he's a changeling.
yeah. Okay, that's not Lieutenant Primin. She looks really familiar too.
It's Sonia Gomez.
What is that actually Sonia?
Oh no.
Where did he learn the Vulcan neck pinch?
Yeah, that's the
Same
weird
person
part.
that taught the Cardassian
It's from-
neck dance.
Neck trick?
From Michael Burnham.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Wait, how does Odo know the codes for this? Wait, does Starfleet only use like one password?
You learn from Quark. Also,
Is there like
in
a secret
society,
cheat code to these panels?
society where you assume that there is no crime because there is no scarcity, so there's no lack of resources. You don't need security cameras. You don't even need a secure password. Who's going to try and do this? Why would you do that?
You don't put locks on your jail cells because no one's ever going to be in the jail cells. What do you need them for?
You're going on the outside. I mean, no one's going to decide to let the guy out when they're not supposed to let the guy. Who would do that?
yeah. Is reminding me of the stereotype of a British Bobby police officer. and they don't even have a gun; they just have a nightstick, which is not true. But they yell after you, "Stop in the name of the law! Otherwise, I'll tell you to stop." Game.
It's basically the Starfleet approach. Yes, they use phasers as well. Even in situations where it is life-threatening, they will keep them on stun for as long as they can.
Leighton, why are you even pretending here? You've already admitted that you're staging a coup. You both know what's happening here.
Look at all the work that the audience's imagination is doing here. They're just talking about what could have happened, and it's the whole episode.
I mean, they're talking very convincingly. They're good at talking.
Yeah. And he has the Golden Gate Bridge
Talking.
behind him.
Action scene.
Really? Replaced by shapeshifters? That's the plan you're going with? You can't just say everything is shapeshifters, Leighton.
Communism. We need Mammoth in here. He talked about communism.
It's the beige scare. Gotta look out for those shapeshifters. God, you overcooked my food? That chef is a shapeshifter. Leighton, come on.
But the Defiant is a warship. Surely they win this fight.
Later, she says, "Oh, I didn't know they had a blade of armor." That's like
Or a
that
cloaking
is
device?
part of this. that's
Yeah,
part
the
of this
Defiant
sequence.
could just cloak and just leave.
The Defiant is not technically a ship. It's a prototype, right? They wouldn't have access to those specs. Nobody knows what the Defiant can do except them.
Okay. I stand corrected.
They neglected to inform Starfleet operations.
I don't mean to correct you. I'm just thinking about that's an interesting little tidbit.
Oh, you're right.
But they actually
You're right,
can
you're right, because
sort of
it is
go
NX.
toe-to-toe. Because the Lakota has also been upgraded.
yeah, but the ablative armor part would be secret because that is part of like the top secret upgrade that the Defiant received.
It's also like the only ship in Starfleet currently that has a cloaking device. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Is a blade of armor the same thing as hull plating from Enterprise? Did they just bring it back?
Kinda.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just forgot
just-
about hull plating?
They just got really they really liked shields. Shields were just so cool for like 100 years.
All the cool kids are using shields these days.
And they're just like, yo, they don't know
just
about shields.
Weld another layer of metal onto your starship.
Friendship with
Another
hull plating
ship
is
on
ended.
your ship.
Oh, that was quite a swoop in on the Lakota.
By the way, he's willing to kill 50 people on the Defiant, which is like
Yes, he
They're the
is.
changelings.
which is
The needs
Like,
of the
we-
many.
They're
The needs
changelings.
of the many.
madness.
Yeah, do you just want to, like, get slightly out of their weapons arc and then just cloak and leave? Or you have a blade of armor. You don't even need to lower shield. No, just lower shields. You have a blade of armor. It's fine. Just
The
cloak.
ship can definitely outmaneuver them. They're just regardless.
Really? You're not going to even try to run just because they might have upgraded the warp drive? Just leave. Why? He's not even hurt. He's fine. He just fell over.
You know, I think it's the next episode where Kira shows Ducat how to put orbital batteries onto a ship. He's like, well, we don't know if it's going to work, but I guess that's how they've been upgrading the Lakota.
They must, that bully and tonic water. I'm curious what's in that. They must have been so excited to pull out the Excelsior model for this episode.
This was the last time they used the Excelsior model, I think, for filming too, because they went to
my God.
CG.
It's the last filming model?
Yeah, because after this they went to CG. Like I think on the Voyager episode with Tuvok and Janeway when he went back in time, that was a CG model. This was the last time they used the actual film model, like the actual.
Oh yeah.
you know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
had
don't
to go
think
back
it
to
was-
CG because they added those sections to the secondary hull for generations, and they couldn't get them off.
Right.
And then Voyager never even got a full-on model. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very insightful. I mean, at some point, CGI just became cheaper than, stop motion, like the whole camera effect.
Well, absolutely. It's just, those old ships those are things. Those are tangible. Cisco could talk about them like he's talking right now.
But something very interesting I've been meaning to say for a minute. We kind of made jokes about how this episode seems like Star Wars here and there. Like I think season 3 Discovery is very Star Wars like. But so ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, is the premier special effects studio, and obviously they pushed the envelope for CGI as well. They
Did
also
a lot
did,
of stuff for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and so but originally they also were the ones that came up with the whole, Star Wars used it originally, but obviously TNG uses it. The whole, you don't move the ship, you move the camera, and the ship's upside down. So it's like that's how you get the smooth, Enterprise D floating above the thing or coming at you kind of effect. So, but ILM was created by Star Wars George Lucas, and it was like spun off from, and it was either spun off or very closely associated with the original Star Wars production. And so Star Wars and Star Trek.
Captain Benteen here has just been ordered to kill a whole bunch of Starfleet officers. And she's considering it. Worf here doesn't want to murder a bunch of Starfleet officers. Captain Benteen, though. Is she cool with it? Nope, she's leaving. She's just gonna go home.
Also, I don't think ILM worked on Lord of the Rings at all. I think that was
Did they
all
not?
Who? Peter Jackson made his own company called Weta Workshop.
And Weta Workshop did a bunch of... I thought they just did like the models and costumes and stuff.
No, they developed a whole CG system for creating massive battles on screen. They did a number of other CG effects as well, but they also did like a ton of practical work on Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Oh yeah, their crowd work was like revolutionary for what it was.
It doesn't matter. Security knows he's here. All that matters is that the Defiant goes to talk to. Gets here. I don't know if you can trust Soto. I think he might be a shapeshifter. Gonna have to give him a test.
Like the worst cover-up ever.
Didn't quite work out. All he did was just get a few Starfleet officers killed and make everyone panic for a few days. Good job, Layton. You nailed it.
Another case cracked.
Yeah, and the scene with Colin Meaney.
To take your pips off. That means it's all over.
That makes it official.
Somehow that counts as a resignation. You don't need paperwork, you just take off the pips.
No
I thought you
security.
take off your communicator.
Just walk out. You're good.
Just letting him walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cisco, what are you doing?
Well, his pips are there. He's powerless. He can't do anything anymore.
Okay.
His power is mine.
Peter verifies the pips when he tries.
Pips are to Starfleet officers like hair is to Samson. If you lose it, you just can't do anything anymore. You're worthless.
Look, the Green Lantern's ring.
You just lost your pension.
No, don't worry. It just wouldn't be Earth until the changeling threat was neutralized. However long that takes.
They're great acting from Avery Brooks throughout this episode, but even at the very end, it's such a terrible feeling to see that your captain, your old CO, resigned before you. He's not happy about any of this.
Yeah, that's true. It also would not be Earth anymore if just the Jem'Hadar killed everyone. I hope they're keeping some of the security arrangements. Because, I mean, yeah, there are still shapeshifters. You don't need the full martial law and officers on the streets, but...
I don't know, Ryan. You sound a lot like Leighton. I think you're a shapeshifter.
I might... Oh, sorry. But surely you can have security on, like, Starfleet military bases. You don't need to occupy the city, but come on. You can do something.
The whole debate about testing him was unnecessary. It's like you could have just made the rule that Starfleet families who live on Starfleet installations. You had no business going up to, this guy and telling him you have to submit to a test.
But anyone could be a shapeshifter. It could be you. It could be me. We don't know.
That's the fear talking, man.
I mean, I don't want to talk smack about, like, saying it's a bad thing to test people because, there's other stuff going on right now in real life. But that's a different kind of test.
This is a real problem.
It's a different kind of test.
Everyone needs to go get this injection.
Except for real, though. Go get your
saying
injection if you have it available.
At some point.
Yeah, it's going to be a while till I get my injection because I'm pretty much in the lowest risk group there is, so I'm not going to get it for a while.
Unless you're like Hank Aaron's age or something.
Anyway, the next episode is Crossfire, and it's going to be an awkward love triangle thing, and there's going to be the Scottish space ghost Shakar.
Crossfire!
I was gonna.
Oh, speaking of which, in Ryan's honor, I'm going to be making a steak. I'm gonna start by boiling it for about 20 minutes. Finish it off in the microwave.
Sure, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I definitely have my preferred way of cooking steak, but I refuse to be a steak snob. If you actually want to make a boiled steak, go for it, man. I don't care.
If you say sous vide steak,
I'd rather have a Ferengi slug steak.
I just I used to bake it, but I recently switched to putting it in a pan on the stove and then basting butter over it during the thing. Works out pretty well.
So what you do is start with a freezer burn steak. So that way it's already partially cooked.
Oh, I see. You cook your steak however you want, man. I ain't gonna judge you. Or at least I'm not gonna vocalize my judgment. Everyone press play in 5,
Oof.
4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I think Joseph Sisko was onto something though with this idea that a changeling could simply just hang on to like the blood of a person. Like, you know how in X-Men 2, Magneto rips out the blood of the he takes out the iron in the blood of the security guard. And just pulls it out of him. So I think a changeling would be able to like hang on to blood like that. That's not a bad idea. I wonder why the writers never followed up with that.
They did the inverse of that with the way that she ended up faking the blood test.
They didn't really need to follow up exactly because they've already shown Martok faking a blood test, and they're going to show Bashir faking a blood test.
Oh yeah.
So blood tests have never work. Oh, he's so happy. He's so happy to see the Major.
This episode is heartbreak.
This is a Shakar episode, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But they changed the actor for Shakar, right?
Drastically need a walk. I'll be
It's the
back.
same actor.
This is the episode where Shakar comes over to the station and Odo has to escort them around while they're making lovey eyes at each other, and he just feels awkward about it.
Is he just less handsome? Like a year later?
Shakar or
Have a
Odo?
haircut or something.
Shakar.
Yeah, Shakar, I don't know, his eyes are different, I think, is the main thing for me. They seem a lot more gaunt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Quark is good in this episode too when he
Quark
talks
is
to
great.
Odo later on. Yeah.
This episode ends on an unhappy note, so if you don't,
Oh,
if you like
yeah.
happy endings, you want to skip it this one.
DS9 doesn't really
terrible.
have happy endings. That's not a thing.
True. True.
Mostly someone just dies or loses a limb or has a
just
traumatic
listening-
event they have to cope with.
This is their weekly Tuesday meeting that he cancels by the end of the episode.
Just keeping it to the essentials.
You know, I gotta use my time more productively.
Sanitation duty. Oh, he's actually like mopping the floors and cleaning the walls. I thought he was gonna go work in waste extraction.
Kira is the worst in this episode. Like, she's just hooking up with Shakar the whole episode, and she just looks through Odo the whole time.
I mean, Odo's not her boyfriend. Shakar is.
Yeah, and she doesn't know how Odo feels, nor does Odo even make it clear how he feels. He's got nobody to blame but himself, to be honest. She was single for like a month after Barial died, and he just stayed away.
Yeah, true. And he hung out in the Dominion, and he realized he loved her, so he should have acted on it. But I mean, you don't gotta look through the guy, though, right?
As far as he's concerned, he's just a friend, and
Yeah.
there's no reason for her to act any
Oh,
other way.
but oh my god, she's
mean,
like
she's-
so happy around Baral, and like Odo's just like sulking, you know. Not
Triangle
Baral,
ship.
Shakar.
That ship is triangular. Triangle. Triangle counter goes up.
Yay.
We're up to 18 triangles, everyone. 18 triangles. Very important.
Repeat, this is not a drill. We are at 18 triangles.
18 triangles.
Stop hitting on Miles, Julian. He's a married man.
They can't stop. They can't help it. They love each other. They love each other more than Odo and Shakar and Kira do.
Whoa, what is this? It's just a different color?
Ooh, the
Kira's
Bajoran one?
uniform? Yeah.
Her dress
It's a little
uniform,
different.
yeah.
It has more of like a fold in the middle.
Huh.
It's more like Hillary Clinton official.
I could see Hillary wearing that.
Yeah.
The way he says that. Major Kira.
What does he call her, Edon?
Spencer.
What does Edon mean? Edon means minister, right?
That's his name.
No, Edon is his first name, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, his first name, which is last, so right, they're
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah, like
Oh,
No
the
reason
triangle
for first
ship, it
name,
will
just
show up in other
Hillary.
series, yes. It will show up in other series. Very important.
sorry, what will?
The triangle ship.
Oh yeah.
It won't show up in TOS, but it'll be in Enterprise and probably in Voyager somewhere. Definitely Enterprise. Enunciate. Okay, Odo, do you want to, like, step away and say that? Not just right next to the crowd?
No, he's in his. They're security officers.
No, those were those were just random Bajorans.
No, he's in his office with a bunch of security officers.
He absolutely was
No.
not.
He's in the crowd, watching the people cheer the prime minister.
Yeah, that was the
So
promenade,
he's
man.
not in his office. Yeah, he's on the promenade.
I'll have to
Like,
go back
he's
and look.
outside
Cisco
the
didn't
airlock.
jump.
Dude's going inside a
Cisco
panic.
didn't jump in slow motion like he usually used to protect Vedic Barile, right? So he just kind of stood there, took the news well.
Yep.
Don't worry, com badge
So,
is just
th-
like
that's another-
magically to make your voice only go into the com badge.
They're really good.
Odo has asserted before that like he's on top of everything. Like no crime on the ship gets through without him knowing.
Except all of the crime.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, there's that
this
triangle again,
episode
but the
was
one in the
about
credit
to-
sequence doesn't count, just as a reminder.
That's the same one.
I mean, it should count once, I
Ryan, did you-
think. I see
But
what
it
you're
counts
counting.
backwards, though. But in this one, it backed into. You see, the front was in the station, not the back, right?
Yeah,
It could be
they
a little
they
different.
switch it up sometimes.
Oh, okay. They dock different ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and also they have sometimes they have a cylinder dish on top, sometimes they have an antenna. Would they modify it to fit, the pack leads and all that?
Yeah. Some of the models are really heavily modified, but it's the same base model which we're looking for. Like the Husnock warship, you can barely even tell. You have to look real close to see the Husnock warship is the same.
I didn't even know it was until you said it was.
Well, the scale of the Husnock one was much larger than the Enterprise, right? They made that one look huge.
Yeah.
I think with that, yeah, they just used camera angles.
Yeah, so if I unblur the screen here, you can see this is the Husnock ship. It looks completely different. But if you get a look at the back, the engine pattern is the same, and this light pattern on the bottom is also the same.
And the top part by the bridge there, that's the fin or whatever on the top of the ship. Yeah.
But yeah, they glued a bunch of spikes to it. They glued a bunch of armor to the top. So you have to look very closely for your triangles. Now, it's very important that I don't watch these episodes ahead of time or look too closely, because then I'll know if a triangle is coming. Triangles are better if they're a surprise.
Much better.
Surprise triangles.
Surprise triangles.
It just tests our alertness and dedication as fans. This episode was written by Renee Echevarria.
Oh yeah, we see Renee all over the place.
Yeah, he's executive producer at this point too.
Oh, there's that same triangle, but only unique triangles count.
Hey, Ron, did you ever get to listen to the DS9 thing on full blast? Because, like I said, there's an electro vibing kind of thing added at the beginning.
I haven't looked for it.
Find a good sound system and just blast it.
And that's why Odo keeps his quarters very precisely to the millimeter. Everything has its place. Which is why Jadzia goes in and messes with him while he's sleeping. Which, not very polite of her. So how do you create order in your lives?
Well, one time I was at a friend's house and I was eating a banana. I took the banana sticker and I put it on his furniture.
Mad.
Had to polite. You have to politely remind me not to do that.
For me, I only keep the minimum amount of stuff I need, so there can't be any chaos in terms of stuff, because there's not stuff to be chaotic. Just the stuff I need. I need to work on a routine more, because, yeah, almost overslept the stream. That's not ideal. Probably should get up sooner. Set an alarm for the weekends.
But it's good you're well refreshed. We can have those insights.
What does Shakar even ever do as First Minister? All I remember him doing is just hanging out with Kira. Does he do anything? Vedic Barile renegotiated some important treaty.
He just said something about visiting the temple. So apparently there's like the central temple they visit.
Yeah, there's that temple on the promenade that Jadzia dies in.
Spoiler.
Don't worry. If you haven't seen DS9, I don't know why you're here. Honestly, I don't know why you're even subscribed to me. If you haven't seen it.
But speaking of you, I really liked your it's like a video. That was a lot of work and you did a great job.
I honestly, yeah, your content is some of the best.
It's like some kind of simile. And just to reiterate, the only reason the new Trek shows aren't in there is because I don't have the scripts to search for lines. It ain't a Discovery hit.
I was
the new Trek shows, but just
It would have been good to have them there,
I'm
but
sorry.
oh well.
that was really well done, but now I realize how you did it because I thought you were literally watching episodes and
Oh God, no.
notes.
That would have taken
That's how I
like
would've
years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is he wearing like a special uniform, or is every single Bajoran know this man's face? It's just like
Shakar
the president
or
walking by. Yeah, Shakar.
oh, there's an old lady. She's walking in the crowd.
Tackle her! Tackle her!
Go tackle the old
Laser
lady.
She's weaving. She's weaving.
She's kneeling down. She's picking something up.
Shoot the child.
The kid could be a bomb.
Unstun.
She could throw the child at the first minister. Tackle her. Put the child down.
Drop the child.
Yeah, I like that.
He didn't
That
even
gun
kiss the
looks like a
baby.
kid.
Just slip in.
You got to show politicians kissing babies.
Yeah. Of course you do. What kind of question? All politicians kiss babies. That's the rule.
Oh, so he was kind of a president. Okay.
Vedic Tansa. Wait, is Vedic Tansa the dude with in the green or the orange? Who's the Vedic
the
here?
camera was focused on the tall guy in green, but the Vedic you would think was dressed in the orange.
I did not even see the other person. I only saw the guy in green. I like yours outfit here. I don't think we ever see this again.
Yeah, Odo's being like
Odo just wants to be menacing, and Odo's kind of edgy, is how I would describe him.
The belt conversation.
Yeah, if you
No,
ask
this
Odo
is
to ask
good.
Cat Casual, he can't do it.
the belt conversation is good. Because at the end, he doesn't want to wear her belt anymore. He doesn't want to be her Ken doll anymore.
I really like their relationship. It was one of my favorite parts of DS9, honestly.
Yeah, but this episode is the wrong episode to say that. Sorry.
I stand by it. We get to see this. I'm good with it. I don't
Well,
love Shakar though.
I think I like Odo's belt too. That's a good belt.
It's a good belt.
I mean, you should wear a belt, but I would wear it under my shirt, not over.
I mean, I don't wear a belt. My pants just stay up.
I'm not sure how this guy's belt would function. Is this just like a cinch? Is that big of Bajoran military uniform? Do you just like take a rope and just like tie it around you and hold your stuff up?
Basically.
No belt loops, nothing.
Yo, they go on like 5 dates in this episode. It is just so sickening. Like, I'm sick for Odo. Like,
They're dating. They're allowed to go on dates.
oh my god, they just think they're always in her quarters. Can you like go outside and see the sun?
They do that. What are you talking? That's
Oh, they're
This
always
is
in quarters.
This is to help us wind down from the super conspiracy the last 2 episodes. We have to deal with this
That makes sense.
pigs in a blanket.
That makes sense.
Like,
those
doesn't
look like
he
some
have-
nice wraps.
Those were
Does he not have a
uncooked
meeting
pigs in a
or
blanket.
something occasionally?
Do they ever confirm one way or the other if Hasbrat is the food that goes in it, or is that the dish name?
They never give you that.
Uh,
Because there's Hasbrat souffle, and then that looked like a Hasbrat burrito.
Don't know.
That's correct.
Just curious.
No, you're right though. The conspiracy of the last 2 episodes just means that you have to get this one episode where Odo keeps getting hit in the face with a pie. Romantic.
Yeah, actually, have we even seen Cisco this episode? Like, this is really low energy.
Yeah, he got the report about the assassination plot, but he hasn't done anything about it yet.
He got his contractual obligated scene.
He got his line. He got his paycheck.
It's a Majoran affair. He's Starfleet.
I'm scrolling forward. He'll show up in about 12 minutes.
That
So
music
he
got
doesn't-
oddly ominous.
He doesn't have a lot to do in the episode when someone's planning an assassination on his station.
And
Oh,
Odo's
God.
just like absent-mindedly staring at the wall. That's what's happening.
It's got to be pretty
Just so
boring just
upset.
staying outside a room.
Oh, but he's just so upset over Kira that he's like dropping the ball in this investigation.
yeah, his feelings are overwhelming his job duties.
Not that he'll admit to it.
No, like his whole thing with Kira forces him to grow as a person over the course of the series, and like sometimes there are difficult lessons like this where he drops the ball.
I don't
Yeah.
think Kira is really necessary in this episode, except for to hurt Odo and force him to grow. The camera just spends too much time on those
Yeah,
scenes.
she's a catalyst.
Yeah, she's just a plot device, effectively.
Yeah, it has very little to do with her character itself. You're right.
This is an Odo episode. Okay. It's just so long.
Oh, I forgot
should
to ask.
both, I
Are we
agree.
watching Threshold after this?
No, we're not watching Threshold again.
Sorry,
We've had enough
we are
Threshold
watching
for
a third
now.
episode. We're watching
You're
a third
not,
episode though.
you're not watching Threshold after this. I am.
If you want to watch Threshold, you absolutely can go and watch Threshold. That's fine.
We're all gonna stay in this room and watch Threshold.
When you
Just
were
every
watching Threshold,
weekend we watch Threshold over and over again.
when you watch Threshold,
I'd rather watch Move Along Home if I have a choice. I mean, you know,
Oh.
Ala Moraine.
Ugh.
One day it'll be in the newspaper. There's this Discord cult that brainwashes themselves on the Warp 10 episode.
So speaking of Move Along Home, I do a weekly multiplayer game of Stellaris with a Star Trek mod where you play as a stellar empire. In my case, I was playing as the Wadi, who are from the Move Along
Wadi.
Home. That's them.
Oh yeah.
I think
And my
that
entire thing
episode-
was,
correct?
I refuse to ever go to war with anyone. My thing was, if you want anything from me, you have to beat me in a game. It was the rule. So I was nearby the Dominion. They wanted to annex me. I was like, all right, beat me in Connect 4. And they lost, so they had to respect my sovereignty.
You play for sticks?
amazing.
In
No
defense
sticks,
of-
just sovereignty.
in defense of Move Along Home, when Cisco is playing hopscotch and singing like the Ella Moraine song, he puts some nice sound into it.
Yeah,
He does.
it's pretty good.
He sounds great.
It's not very jazzy, as you would expect from him, but it's pretty good.
He tries to
Yeah.
jazz it up. It's definitely not flat.
Trying.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
trying to be a diplomatic leader.
I mean, he doesn't like it, but he's trying.
I mean, it's jazzy, but it's not jazzy, if you know what I mean.
I think if
he gets in touch with his inner child, which is really endearing, actually.
I was just thinking, if you played Pickup Sticks with that race that Cromwell played last week,
Uridians,
The Karma?
you know,
The car
Oh,
with
yeah.
their little midden hands,
Yeah. Yeah, some
wipe the
some
floor
species
with
just
them.
have some species just have mitten hands and it's impossible for them to actually do anything with them. The species from First Contact, the episode, also has mitten hands.
Oh yeah.
Flaps.
He has digits on his terminus. Yeah.
I think we saw the Grazerite, the president from the last episode, have basically mitten hands.
Jarish Enyo.
No, he had fingers because he had the whole Michael Jackson glove.
Yeah,
So
right, he had gloves.
Okay, I thought he had 3 fingers.
Yeah, he had to type out the code to do martial law.
Yeah,
He had really fat fingers.
The
'Cause
code
they-
to do martial law.
We do
Like-
martial law. Listen, it's been a long day, okay?
No, yeah, and you also live in another country, so you're just
It is
No,
it
you-
is
you're just
11
accepting.
o'clock at night over here.
Well,
declare
you should have
martial
thought of
law.
that before you moved to Germany.
Yes, I really should have. Sometime in 2 years, I'm gonna join a channel that watches Star Trek really late at night.
Excellent. I mean, all the streamers I watch go to like 2 a.m. for me. So
Most of the
I
ones
guess
that watch start at like 8 p.m. It's terrible.
one guy starts at like 4 a.m. So I don't really tune in very often.
You do Stellaris every week, right?
Once a week, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not on this channel. It's someone
Your
else's
Twitch.
stream.
Okay, and someone else's stream.
I'm
So
just
with
part of
Joy
it.
Hawaiian Punch.
Yes. It is Racantha Punch.
I can't
Jump
believe they would
Jump.
actually serve punch that way, as
Is that-
opposed to like the water cooler type.
Jumja
Right.
Juice.
Really? You just put the Ferengi eavesdropping device on a piece of fruit? You didn't even hide it?
It was
Someone's
like
going
on
to
the
notice
map.
the fruit.
They're gonna pick it up. It's gonna fall off. They're gonna peel it off. Or is he expecting nobody to touch the fruit bowl? Yeah, I mean, he's a wise Ferengi.
You could have at least put it under the table. Come on, Quark. You're not even trying. You know what I think it is? I think he has a second device under the table. That's the one just to make Odo feel comfortable that he got him.
That's a gimme one.
It's a decoy.
And the Secret Service checks for bugs. So again, Deep Space Nine has no security. Like it's even worse than the Enterprise.
No security. Here, look at it. These two right here. Between these two, they are the entire security force.
Oh,
That's
come
so
on.
unsanitary.
Like a Ferengi eavesdropping device is not IP68 waterproof.
But
But
we
he-
established in the conspiracy episode, Nog heard the names of the cadets who were in
Yeah.
that squad. So Ferengis don't really need too many eavesdropping devices.
Yeah, he just made Quark dip his entire hand in the juice, and now you're gonna have to replace it because it's dirty. And come on.
Oh yeah.
But sorry. Also on the Odo character development episode, you guys are right about that. And here, like his only friend, ironically, like for this whole romantic heart, FUCK, is that Quark. Like Quark is the one the one shoulder he has to lean on, which is pretty
Right.
brilliant.
Yeah, that was a big blow up. He just
And
had.
actually, Odo acknowledges that in a later episode, I think, that he owed Quark a favor. I think it was when, oh yeah, because he actually helps him in this episode. He kind of helps him see straight.
God love the show.
Kira, you're
It's
ruining Odo's schedule. What are you doing?
No,
How
but
are people
that-
supposed to set their clocks by Odo if you're constantly messing with his time like this?
You're right, though. Quark did him a solid in this episode.
I think like Odo lets him get away with some smuggling thing a couple seasons later. He goes, I owed him
Yeah.
one anyway. He helped me out when I was in trouble.
Yep.
That's funny.
Interesting character point. He's also kind of mad at himself for falling into like the solid emotional thing, and that fight's going on here too. Just think of that.
And Quark told him before, like, I know you love Major Kira. It's like, well, what makes you think that? So it's like Quark is the kind of friend you don't even have to, tell them. They already know.
So Kira really should have just canceled this meeting. She was there for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It didn't accomplish anything. Unless she had to pick up a
Right.
pad or something.
She just came to say, "Oh, I'm hanging out with Jakar."
Like rubber stamp, but digitally.
Legally, I have to be here. See, you wanted them to go look at the sun? Here they are going and looking at the stars.
Yeah, I mean, she stayed in her room the whole day. I mean,
But this is like first thing in the morning.
you know, like
Also, she's only spent like
I've done that.
one night in his quarters. The rest of the episode
know,
has
but
been in the
the rest of the
wardroom or in the
episode-
corridors or anywhere else. Like, they're not in his quarters all that much.
Yeah, but the rest of the episode, he's in her quarters. So
But no, like the entire time we see them, they're either out and about somewhere or it's the nighttime and they're sleeping or doing other things.
anyway, you know, like I'm not getting any right now, so I know how Odo feels.
Well, if you're single, pretty much nobody's getting any right now.
I'm just saying, I know how it is when you're like blocked out.
If you were single when all this pandemic stuff started, it's likely you're not meeting a whole lot of people.
No, it's
You can
I'm
start
not,
meeting
but I'm
people
just-
again once you get a vaccine. Go get your injection.
Odo, you should really
Is that
assign
before
someone
or
else
after?
to this.
How long are you supposed to
You
wait
even-
after getting the second dose? Is it like a 2-week wait until it's fully taken effect?
I think it's 6 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks? Jesus.
3 to 6. You have to get the second one.
Odo, what about the security code? Odo, he didn't say the security code.
Dun, dun, dun.
So again, you remember the episode where Boone or whatever, like, is the one that's responsible for O'Brien being kidnapped and taken back to Cardassia for that show trial? So he uses a phone recording, you know, an audio recording of whoever. So here also,
Yep,
somebody
same
fakes
thing.
an audio recording of work.
Oh, look at that turbo lift. It's so nice and closed in.
Cardassian. It's Cardassian.
It's so efficient.
It's different. Yeah. Yes. It's superior.
In TNG, when
That
Data
is a good turbo lift.
replicates Picard's voice, like, you don't think they could have, you know, like the iPhone has the you know, the X-ray scanner that verifies that you're a 3D person instead of just a picture.
And in this episode, we learned that Odo was one of the strongest creatures in the Star Trek
Jesus.
canon.
He just... Jesus, Odo.
He
Power
is a
level.
hydraulic press when he wants to be.
This also doesn't
Welcome
make a whole lot of sense to me.
Channel.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Like, in my opinion, why would the turbo shafts, the shafts themselves, have gravity? Like, you would think it would just be more efficient for the gravity plating to not be pulling on the turbo lift. Sure,
Oh,
you have
maybe.
it in there so people can stand, but why would the
Cardassians.
turbo shaft have gravity?
They probably
Maybe
don't
it didn't
use
have
that
gravity. Maybe it was
gravity.
being propelled down.
No, it doesn't
possible,
make
yeah.
sense. You're right.
'Cause
No,
someone
it wasn't being propelled
control.
down. It fell. It fell down the chute like in any old elevator scene. That was an elevator scene, and you're right. It makes no sense because the turbolifts would have to be like magnetically propelled. So without something taking them somewhere, they shouldn't have fallen.
Yeah, turned over control of the turbo lift to the outside influence. Odo, Cisco, it's just an expression. People are still allowed to make mistakes if they're not human.
No, not Odo.
Well, if he turned over control, wouldn't it stand to reason they would have turned off the anti-gravity?
Look at his acting. He can only blink.
You know what they should have done? Instead of just sending it plummeting toward the bottom, they should have just like made it shake up and down real fast. Just blend the first minister.
A paint can, yeah.
Oh, so the triangle's still here. Maybe it was... I mean, it's pretty much always the Romulans, so maybe they just beamed over to a cloaked ship and left.
I mean, statistically, I think it's the Romulans at this point, yeah.
That's racist.
Odo, you
It's
just
not
messed up your
always-
job because you were too distracted and you're still letting yourself be distracted. Come on, Odo.
And he's like, "You don't know me well enough to say that." It's like, I can see you with the pad in your mouth, staring with a 1,000-yard stare.
No, you're definitely not. Your mind's definitely not on your work, Odo. It's pretty obvious.
Ooh, spit that out. Worf is like, I don't really respect you right now. But I'm going to say with all due respect.
What even is the point of the phrase "with all due respect"? It accomplishes
It's a way to say
nothing.
something shitty without feeling like you're saying something shitty.
I
All due
think
respect,
it's a
if
way
you
of
don't know the meaning of that, I'm not
acknowledging.
going to help you.
I think it's a way of acknowledging that, like, look, I'm punching up. I know that I shouldn't say this to you because I respect you. But
So, could I say, with all due respect, that's a stupid interpretation?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I appreciate the respect.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm
Yeah,
glad I'm being
appreciate that.
respectful.
It's like a variation
I love-
on I'm not racist, but...
Well, you did make it clear that you
Yeah.
were saying this with
I don't
all
want to be
due
racist,
respect.
but why can't black people shut up in a movie theater? Like, sorry.
What? With
I don't
all
mean that.
due respect.
With all due respect, go
Most-
F yourself.
Yeah, by the way, most black people are very nice in a movie theater, so we should not stereotype anyone.
I don't think we need to... Moving swiftly on. So, hey,
Yeah, moving
Shakar.
on.
Welcome back to the Kira Show. Featuring Odo's angst.
That actually was great with Odo and Worf, though, because they kind of bonded over how organized they keep themselves, and then Odo is just a mess. And he's like, get it together, man.
No,
Odo's
okay,
like
and
a
here,
bad
by the way,
bitch.
I realized Odo is asking for so much trouble. He's like, why were you waiting outside of her quarters when you know he's in there? And then you want to see what they were doing inside, and so it smells like...
Odo, with all due respect, you're being a real creeper here, and you're really forming a toxic relationship with Kira.
You're asking
just
questions
chill
you
out.
don't want the answers to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
He's
forces him to grow.
Candlelight dinner? How come I never got a candlelight dinner?
You don't eat.
Wait, are you talking about Shakar right now? Kira, you're obviously dating. We know this already. Oh no, that was
Shakar from the
what she was
Western
in for.
episode.
It's
That's
weird that
Shakar.
that whole bit was in quotations in the subtitles.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
'cause
weird.
she was quoting herself from the past, what she used to be thinking.
Oh, okay. I trust you completely because you've been through these scripts.
With
But
all
she
due
was talking
respect,
about-
you need to pay more. No.
Yeah, she was talking about how I never thought he was... I already know him too well. He's like a brother to me.
Friends,
F's in the chat. F's in the chat for Odo.
Odo's such a good friend. Except right now when he's kind of being a terrible friend, but Kira can't tell because he's not saying anything.
Yeah, I'm going to relieve the guard on duty outside of her quarters. That's going to help me feel better.
We can talk about it later.
It's a good
the
lesson
guard-
for guys who end up in the friend zone, though. It really is.
True. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I mean, I don't think
You can't
they'll
sit on the
learn-
sidelines and not expect this to happen.
And don't stalk her house outside. You're not going to like what you see.
Also a good lesson. Yeah.
Like, the security guard was like, "Are you sure you want to dismiss me? Like, I'm supposed to be on duty here." And he's like, "Yeah. Beat it, kid. I'm in charge here."
Worf all like, yeah, I've been head of security. I know how to do your job.
Yeah, they just gave me your
So
script for this episode. It's embarrassing.
Odo drops the ball. That's the title of this episode.
Kind of is.
He didn't call you
if
before
anyone's
he
ever
made
had
the
their
rest 'cause
personal
you're
life
useless.
lead to their professional.
Yeah, it's true.
Is he to be commended?
The way he said that.
No.
Oh god.
No, he said the way you trained your staff, not the way what you're doing. But
Your deputies
Oh, yeah.
are so
It's a very
efficient.
backhanded compliment. Yeah, it's fucking perfect.
That's high praise from Worf, though. He doesn't give out compliments that easily. I mean, that's something.
it's
Oh no, here comes the Tommy Wiseau smashing scene.
Jeez,
Well,
what is
or-
going on
or
with that
to the
console that it
game.
just exploded like that? Even Cardassian
Also-
consoles?
Yeah, how
All consoles
what
have
did
really
explosives in
strong.
them. Don't you know?
You're
How
tearing me
strong is
apart,
he?
Lisa.
that looks like
You know,
bronze?
Well, remember he bent the metal in a turbo lift on both sides pretty easy.
He,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like hydraulic press hands though. He just
Yeah.
karate chopped that bronze statue. Look at Quark is terrified.
He should be. Odo's a
I know.
monster.
Quark is a bro right now.
What is up with
This is a
Odo's
great
hair
scene.
Threw
anyway?
his TV out the window, everything.
Yeah, apparently his hair is like he actually shifts actual hair and styles it back.
That's
So he's
the Dr.
intentionally
Moore
emo
hairstyle.
hair.
I want
Every
to point
message
out
in essence here.
Quark was like, "Did you turn into a
This is-
tard?"
Yeah, Quark is like, what animal?
No, he's just swinging. He's just swinging his arms.
I'm the Juggernaut.
Exactly.
He doesn't even have to tell him.
Now you're the guy that sits in the rubble.
Odo is actually Colossus. Or the Terminator. Odo is the Terminator. Odo is a Terminator.
He's a T-1000, right? Liquid.
He is, yes.
Go
Yeah,
through
he's,
the,
Odo is the T-1000. Everything makes
Magnetic
sense.
polyalloy.
Yeah, he's the Odo meter. No, that's no good.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is an episode where the good guy.
The
gets
manhunt
beat up.
pool?
I think he made this up, though. I don't think there is such a pool. I think he's just doing this to
there
make
is.
him feel good.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
definitely
You think there is?
would absolutely do that.
100%.
Even if there is, it's just an excuse.
Quark always has some kind of betting operation going on. Like it's either on O'Brien and Bashir's racquetball game,
Dude,
or
Quark probably tries to book people to do crimes on the station to supply the pool.
yeah, right. So, I mean, he's like, what's that website with the political odds and everything, like the betting odds and all that. So he probably takes a wager on anything at this point.
Yeah, but he probably also
Lots of
just encourages people to run. He reiterates, the pool exists.
That's true. That's true. All right.
He probably does, but he's just using it as an excuse to get his buddy on track here.
Usually, whenever the Quark mentions the pool, it's only in the context of how he's losing big because Bashir or O'Brien or Odo's refusing to cooperate for this reason or the other.
Well, why else mention it? Why else bring it up?
Well,
Just looking out for
I
my
thought
business.
'cause
Not a friend
Quark
or
wouldn't-
anything.
Quark wouldn't overtly help Odo. He has to couch his help in a way of saying, "I'm losing money because of you. You have to snap out of this,
Exactly.
not because of you, but because of me." You know, that's
Exactly.
why I
I
thought it
can
was
make
not
so
real.
much money if you be happy again.
Because he can't actually be his friend. That would just be
Right.
unacceptable.
He has to do it in a way that's self-serving.
No, I mean Quark got on my good side after this episode.
They have a
Because
strong
Odo is
love-hate
all-
relationship.
Odo's all alone, like he doesn't really keep friends, so like Quark, his nemesis, is kind of his truest friend.
Rival is his rival.
He softens up
There's
a little
this-
bit. In the 7th season with the Vic Fontaine stuff, he falls in love with Kira. I mean, I think the command staff is his friends a little bit, but you're right. I mean, Quark and him have a unique relationship that goes back even before the series begins. I mean, they've been together for a while.
He was on for the
So there's a whole psychological argument in the literature between can you really be friends with people and be truly altruistic and do things just because they're a good thing to do, or are you doing it just because there's like a secondary effect that would make your life easier? You know, it's the same thing that like Quark is doing. It's like, yeah, if you feel better, then I have profits. Or your boss saying, yeah, I want to make you happy, but because it's gonna, you know, make me more money, whatever.
Right.
Same with
Right, that's-
dating and all that.
That's pretty cynical. And people can't just be altruistic for the sake of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
wanna know.
I'm gonna be less cynical because at the beginning though, the Quark saying that like, well, you love Kira, and he's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, don't try to hide it from me. Like he is reaching out simply just as a friend. Like the bet thing is obviously like you said, there's a transaction involved, and I mean, I'm gonna also kind of agree with that because look, at the end of the day, when you're selfless, you're
No
with the
belt.
people you love. You're also being selfish because it's like if you make the people you love happy, then you're happy. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of a circular argument, but kind of not, that you want people around you to be happy so that they're happy to be around you. You know, and then it just kind of goes around and round. And is that really
If you
altruism, or is
expand-
that making your life easier just to, you know?
If you expand the definition of selfless and altruistic that much, it feels like they just become worthless words. They don't mean anything if you expand them that much.
Mhm.
It's like, I knew one person who insisted, in all cases, that they loved every single person in the world. It's like, no matter what they did. It's like, then love doesn't mean anything. That's just... What's the point?
right, and you can't.
Yeah,
by the
exactly.
way. You don't have enough resources. You don't have enough time. Like,
No one has enough emotional bandwidth to love everyone.
and actually, in fact, it works. The funny thing is, though, it works the other way. They found, for example, for charities, if you say like, look, there's a poor girl in a country far away and she needs money, most people will be like, all right, here's $10. But if you say, well, look, she also has a brother, the empathy goes down and they only give you 5 when you give them 2 people who need your help. So
Yeah.
you know, like our empathy is very limited and it's inverse to the number of people who need our help.
Yeah, that's why on all those shows they show like the single starving children and not the entire
Not
like
the
extended
orphanage?
family. Yeah,
Right.
not the entire family of like starving grandparents and aunts and uncles and all of that together.
Well, the last time they showed a group
Yeah.
of starving grandparents was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it was a whole scam. Starving grandparents were
Screw
fine.
you,
They were just
Grandpa Joe.
lazy.
Chicago
Grandpa Joe's the
just
worst.
came
They
out.
were
Gets up,
poor,
he's
though.
dancing around. Come on.
We're poor.
So that was nice of
I
Odo.
think it's
Installed some soundproofing.
Soundproofing, but again, he didn't do it for he said that's incidental. I was just reinforcing the floor. He wasn't trying to help.
For sure.
Right, of course.
No, but it's implied though he's lying in the sense that like he says like I wouldn't inconvenience myself for 3 days.
Oh,
like,
it's
you
very
just did
obvious
both.
he's lying. It's totally for Quark's benefit.
Yeah, he did. I mean, also privacy. Like you should have the right to destroy your furniture without Quark showing up.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like if I live in an
Yeah,
apartment
no.
with a shared wall, or let's say I live
should.
above someone, maybe don't just go stamp around just for the sake of it.
Right. Or put a carpet in. Put 2 carpets in if you can help it.
Yeah, Odo is definitely the person
there's
that.
ways to dampen that out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
right.
This is
No,
I do
Demar
like this.
Friend.
Hang on, 1 minute countdown to Return to Grace, Season 4, Episode 13. 1 minute.
Demar.
I do like this theme of both Odo and Quark. They kind of realize through the course of the series that there's strength in friendship, whereas like early on they kind of view it as a weakness. But they're kind of restricted by Odo is very isolated because he's kind of singular in his race and that kind of thing, and then Quark obviously is adherent to making profit, being a businessman.
Yeah. Right.
That's an interesting thing.
Like on every series, there's like the emotionless character, Spock, Data, and 7 of 9. So Odo is that on DS9. So
Totally.
the fact that he grows in and becomes like friendly and human,
Except they always secretly have emotions.
10 seconds.
Is there one thing on Discovery?
All right, everyone press
Well,
play
hey,
in
it's a
5,
formula that works.
4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I feel like they're all emotionless on Discovery.
No, they're always crying on Discovery.
They're very emotional.
No, okay, so Burnham starts out, and then Saru starts out, a little bit like not emotions. Giorgio has one emotion, which is like angry. Like, why would I waste my time talking to you?
12 vaccines for Kira. It's a lot of vaccines. She's gonna get
That's a lot of
autism from
cover.
this. No.
There's so many
Yep.
COVID variants.
I'm 12. If she's going to an alien planet with bacteria and viruses she's never been exposed to, 12 is pretty mild.
It's a healthy immune system if it's only 12 Gs.
Well, she doubles and triples them up, so it's more like 30.
But yeah, she sees green spots here. And then she runs to the bathroom, which is really well acted. So this is what the vaccine makes you do.
Doctor, you really should have told her about the side effects before you injected her.
Right?
We like the surprise.
What is wrong with you? You're a terrible doctor.
He is a master troll. That's what's wrong with him.
Albanian
runs
melons, how
so
big are they?
good.
They're about as big as regular melons. Probably like watermelons.
When
You
Bashir
know,
grew up,
she does the run. You gotta
Bashir
see her,
was-
she just swings her hips while she runs.
I don't think she can read the list right now. She can't really see.
She's all backed up.
Oh, there's a bathroom back there.
Apparently. They don't just beam the vomit out of your esophagus.
Wait, they establish in Discovery that they eat their waste.
established that in Enterprise.
I mean, they
I mean,
established that on
matters
the
matter.
Like they recycle the water from the urine.
Carbon is carbon. It all works.
Matter is energy. Is matter.
Disowned by your mother, okay. Lost your wife, lost your children, except one. You still have one child left. For now.
So, is
So far,
Zial Kira's sister?
I wouldn't
No?
say that, Kira. I wouldn't say that Dukat still did the right thing, but
Oh, I think I know what you mean. No, Zial is not the daughter of Kira's mother. That was a different mistress.
Step-sister at absolute best.
Zial is the daughter of Tora Naprem.
Okay, thank you. We see more great acting from the great Mark Alamo here.
It's the only
First
kind of
episode we
acting.
see Damar too, right? Casey
Yes,
Day.
this is the first Damar.
Mm-hmm.
He has,
Everybody
like,
loves
no-
Damar.
And
Ex-husband of Roxana Biggs from Voyager.
this is now Freighter Captain Gul Dukat.
Yep, Roxanne. In Voyager and Threshold we watched yesterday, her credit was Roxanne Biggs Dawson. Because Casey Biggs, Roxanne Dawson, they get married. Roxanne Biggs Dawson.
Wait, she was in Star Wars?
Yeah. Yeah, she was in episode 4 as Princess Leia.
She was no, she's married to Biggs.
Yeah,
as in
Princess Leia.
as in Biggs and Wedge from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, that one. In Star Wars Final Fantasy VII.
Ah, of course. Wait, was that Star Wars Episode 7 Final Fantasy, or... What's the...
Completely
or?
lost the thread.
This is starting to
The
hurt.
Final Fantasy rises again.
And can you watch the D6 theme on high volume and mute yourself so you can hear the...
But then I can't hear anyone.
Okay, fine.
I think you might be thinking of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Fantasy.
We gotta figure out
Oh,
which
okay.
sequence is important now.
Yep, there again is the triangle, but credit sequence triangle does not count.
Oh, and then there's Star Wars 9, The Fantasy Within.
controversial.
Wait,
opinion.
what?
Yeah,
Episode
there's-
9 was Rise of
you guys-
Skywalker.
You guys are.
Was it though?
Am I having a stroke? What's happening?
The Rise of Fantasy? The Fantasy of Skywalker? No, let's not go that.
The fantasy
Who's having a
minute?
stroke?
No, it's you guys are making up Star Wars movies names, and it's throwing me off.
Star Wars Episode 7.
It's hard
The,
enough keeping track of all 9, and then
The Final Awakening.
Yeah, the real world ones are tough enough, guys. Come on.
yeah.
Oh, typical
Ooh, there's like a row
Cardassian
of
freighter.
triangle ships. It's
What
like a row of
is-
triangle ships.
Yeah, we see that same kind of Cardassian freighter in the episode where we meet Ziyal. It's the crashed freighter.
Right. This is Defiant Quarters, obviously.
And this is this second Ziyal
Good
actress?
observation.
Is this a different person?
These have rusty doors.
It's different every time.
She played that Bajoran, didn't she, in the episode The First Duty? Or she was in some other character, wasn't she, this one?
This actress is Saya Batten. It originated the role of Ziyal, and she's playing it again here. And she was also one of the Orion slave women in the Enterprise episode where they take over the ship.
Okay. Important to note, she was significantly older in Enterprise. Because, show was much later.
Oh, you know what I want to point out? In the conspiracy episode, Kira had her hair all blonded out, and then it goes away by like the next 2 episodes. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, she keeps it, she changes it up sometimes.
Like it was the most beach blonde that you could have, and then here, you just see the tufts of it that are left.
It's just so
It was
weird seeing
interesting to see that.
this second actress playing Ziyal.
The last actress was good. The one that played her, for that
yeah,
series of
she's
episodes. Was
fine.
pretty deep. Yeah.
This is the same actress who has played her from the beginning.
I
we
thought
get one more actress in an episode where she kind of propositions Garrick, and then we get the final version of Ziyal in the episodes where they take over the station.
Oh, I had
Right.
it mixed up.
Oh, hey,
Three of them,
Damar.
right?
God, even that beam was not even coherent. It was just spreading out like crazy. Looked more like a tractor.
They established later the Klingons refused to kill them because they're such a weak target.
He's trying his best with what he's got.
I give it to him. He doesn't give up.
And he's like, he's pretty burnt out right now.
Now, this is the point where Guldakot could transition into a hero if he weren't so obsessed with being in power and murdering a whole bunch of Bajorans.
But instead, he did the right thing.
So
And murders a whole
sorry-
bunch of Bajorans? What? What?
Sorry, Ziyal's spoon is not blue. I would like to note for the record.
Oh
Is it
my
not?
goodness.
She's also not wholly Cardassian.
True.
Okay. True.
I thought the blue spoon was makeup, though, that the females put on, kind of like eyeshadow.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
confusion.
It is.
Well, I mean, the only other. Does he really want like?
She's not a diva.
Well,
we
we
keep
don't
asking
see.
that. Like, do we ever see any full Cardassian women that do not have blue spoons?
Well,
I don't
we
think
don't ever see any full Cardassian women who are teenagers either.
They're all diva.
It's true.
So maybe it's like perimenopausal Cardassian women that have blue spoons. I'm just saying maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I'm no xenobiologist.
Have we
Thanks
seen
for having this discussion, by the way.
have we seen a married and a non-married female Cardassian? Is there any link between the blue spoon makeup and their marital status? We could figure this out.
Oh yeah, maybe it could be a status thing. Yeah.
Maybe it means they're
Mrs.
looking
or Mrs.
or not.
Fraulein.
I'm going to tweet
But this-
Jeffrey Combs, see if he knows.
Here is Bajoran spring wine. It is rare, and Marco Limo says it's his last bottle that he's sharing with Kira.
And
Just
here's
like
Kira
most
having a
Victorian
nice, relaxing
country.
dinner with Space Hitler.
So the
It's
thing
the
is,
real-
though, I think she's having kosher grape wine. That's what it is.
For those
Oh,
being
Manischewitz,
concerned in
wine.
chat,
Yeah.
this is
Manischewitz,
reverse
yes.
xenoanthropology.
This is the Passover wine.
Yeah,
Hitler.
Goldacot's being a creep again. Trying to... Go... No. Leave
Manischewitz
Kira
with Space
alone.
Hitler. And by the way, I like how he asked her to dinner. It's Cardassian tradition that captains have dinner with their guests.
It's Cardassian tradition that captains creep on their guests is what it is. Goldacot, why do you even know this?
How does he have this information?
So she says, is that what you kept track of during the occupation? No wonder you lost.
Goldacot is seriously obsessed here.
They love
What's
each
wrong
other.
with him?
He loves her for sure. Like, the fact that she doesn't love him back is what drives him crazy and leads to his demise.
I don't think he does. I think he's just kind of obsessed and it's a power thing.
Yeah, it is a
absolutely.
power thing. It is a creepy power thing.
She
I don't
wants,
think he cares
sorry.
about Kira.
He wants her respect.
Yeah,
He
she wants
only cares
validation
about
from her,
Kira
for sure.
because he can't get her.
Yeah. I think he wants absolution from her too, for like to say you were a good man, you were good for Bajor. Like,
He wants a statue of himself.
yeah, and he wants to be worshipped.
Is it so
also
much to
by him.
ask?
A single statue, just one statue.
And just pray there every morning, just once a day.
They're
Thank you
just
for
looking.
improving Bajor's lot.
So
Thank you
the
for bringing us into the modern age.
so the Klingons destroyed or killed a whole bunch of Cardassians and Bajorans at this meeting.
Yep.
Huh.
Where was the meeting? On a ship?
Random alien planet number 4.
Okay.
You don't have phaser banks. You have like half of one phaser bank.
Dukat is being more Klingon than these Klingons.
Yeah, true.
What a warrior.
I mean, but Klingons do hate Cardassians to the point that like they would just like kill a random colony or meeting of Cardassians.
Yeah, Ducat's decision here is not terribly clever. He doesn't have the firepower to destroy a shuttle, let alone a bird of prey.
Like, it's as sad
Oh
as
my god.
that- Go ahead.
They shined a flashlight on them. That's pretty much it.
Why do they even have weapons? Is it just to destroy incoming meteors?
I'm
Probably.
assuming it's like an old shit as well, but yeah. Wow, insulting.
And they
Dishonor.
just left.
Dishonor on you and your freighter.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your freighter, dishonor on your whole empire.
And your cow for some reason.
Cardassian.
Oh, Goldacot's kind of starting to crack there, going a little crazy.
Just a little.
Just a little. He's keeping it contained for now. And you're going to stop them with a freighter?
Dukat is the most megalomaniacal villain in probably fiction, science fiction.
She's like, Cardassians have the same issue that the Federation does. They just not nearly enough ships to patrol major areas.
He's just so upset he doesn't call the shots anymore.
I think they changed Damar's makeup. He looks like... His nose especially is different. Looks more prominent here.
That's racist towards reptilian noses. Yeah, Damar's not a major character at this point, so they would change up his makeup a little bit.
You okay?
Someone fell
Yeah.
over.
Sorry, my tablet fell.
So what's in the cargo? What are you hauling?
Self-sealing stem bolts.
Self-sealing stem bolts, you say?
Cardassian data rods.
A reverse ratcheting riveter.
No, you see, Cardassian optolithic data rods are manufactured only as needed on Cardassia Prime.
Would make sense. This could be these could be in transport.
You guys were talking about before when Data used Picard's voice. I was just thinking about when he made that password, which is like 500 words long.
Yeah.
I was imagining Ryan being able to memorize that, just like he memorizes Siddig's name.
Siddiq
Just reciting
al-Tahila
it off.
Fadl Abdirek Muhammad Abdul Karim al-Mahdi.
It's like a
Yes, so you can say Alpha Delta Charlie Delta blah, 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 blah.
Well, what I can do is I can just start spouting off random numbers and random letters, and no one would ever be able to tell the difference. No one has it memorized. I can just say whatever I want.
I actually have it memorized.
Why do you have it memorized?
You also have
Probably.
to prove that now.
Well, then tell us, what is it?
What is it, DB?
I can't say it now.
Why not? Because you're lying to us?
I'm watching Deep Space Nine over here.
Yeah, so you're just lying to us. You don't actually have it memorized.
Oh,
I have
you can do it
large
when there's
chunks of it
no-
memorized.
Uh-huh.
Oof.
Or chunk down.
The story changes.
A lot of tangos and victors in there.
I think it's... Someone pull it up and check me. I'm going to try to do
Sure,
it.
I'll pull it up right now. TNG security code data.
I will say the
Authorization
code that
code.
appears on the screen is different from the code he speaks out loud.
Yeah. Okay, I've got it.
All right. I think it's 176437143476476 Charlie 327147777. Fuck.
That was great.
Some of those were correct.
Something. Yeah.
Oof.
I'm losing
Some
it.
of those were correct.
You know what? A lot of it was correct.
That was impressive.
1734673214776 Charlie 327897777 and then the rest of it.
To be fair,
But you have to say
He
it just
did
like
it.
Data.
better than any of us did.
Yeah, in a genre.
1734673214776 Charlie 32789777763 Tango 732 Victor 73117888732476789764376
Lock.
We all just had a moment. Thank you, gentlemen.
Nerds.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Look, if anyone is tuning into a Star Trek watch along on my Star Trek YouTube channel, I don't think they're one to talk.
Nerds on my Star Trek watch along?
It's more likely than you think. Oh, he loves his people. He also cares deeply about the Bajorans. That's why he made life so much better for them. He doubled rations. Are you?
Listen, no one gives him enough credit, okay? This man is such a savior of Bajoran people that later on, when he revived a dying Bajoran religion, the gods blessed him with a half Bajoran, half Cardassian baby as a sign of his sainthood.
Yep, that's definitely
Never
what
gets the
happened.
respect. That is 100% what
For sure. Ducat, you're literally Space Hitler. How well do we need to know you? I'll tell you, I don't actually know that much about Goebbels as a person, but I know I don't like him. Feel pretty sure about that.
Unendingly charming.
Yeah, and it's really odd that Marco Limo wanted them to actually get together eventually. Gold Ducat and Major Kira. No.
That's why his
Mark,
performance
no.
is so good. It's legitimate.
It wasn't just Mark either. Like, Ira Bear actually said that they were considering writing that episode at one point.
Well,
And
thank
it
God
turned
they
into
did.
Kira's mother.
So the
Yeah,
funny
and
thing with this is basically a description of the AK versus the M16. AK, you can absolutely beat one of those rifles up, but they're not very accurate. M16, much more accurate.
Yeah,
Christ, they are fragile.
Okay.
K-47, right?
Speaking
Yeah.
of weapons you can beat up, I'm just thinking of the Jem'Hadar weapons where that's their primary use. You bludgeon people with it.
I always
You
like
bludgeon
the
people
other.
with the Jem'Hadar gun.
I always like the other type of Federation phaser rifle. It looked so much better than that.
The Voyager one or the one from First Contact?
The blue space bazooka.
No, I forget. Probably the Voyager one. Yeah.
They were chunky. The Voyager, they had a different one. You're right, like Type 3 or something.
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't know
Type
what
3
it was.
phaser rifle.
Type 4, I don't know.
Though I do like the one in First Contact.
I'm looking it up right now.
Assimilate.
First
It's
contact phaser rifle. Google images. Yeah, it looks
No,
alright.
not-
Type 3.
It's
Not
okay.
the Voyager one. There's another one.
Here's the first contact phaser rifle. It looks alright.
Type 3.
It looks a little bit like a toy, but
I like the blockiness of it.
I think this one
Where-
is actually literally a toy. I think this is a just
That's not a prop. Yeah, it's a toy, definitely. But
But-
So the 3D
it gives you the general idea of the design.
very basic.
Voyager one is chunkier. It's kind of like smooth and chunky. It's a little thicker. Like it's, I don't know what they call it again. Type 3, like you said.
That's the one. Yeah, I like that one. The one that's on the stream right now. Anyway, is that the one from First Contact? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Yeah, that's
awesome.
First Contact.
Yes, the space
the one I'm
bazooka is
thinking of
very
is
important. I'll
Insurrection.
go ahead and put that on stream.
Purple space bazooka.
There we go. Here's the space bazooka that Worf has. Use it to shoot down a drone.
It shoots purple lasers. It's great.
I like how it has an arc for the shoulder for ease of
Just to
resting.
make sure that if it kicks back, it completely catches your shoulder. Yes.
I thought you were exaggerating, but no, it's a space bazooka.
Yeah. Star Trek is a very serious sci-fi show.
Why would an energy weapon have recoil?
Because it's a feature film and they wanted it to look big.
Can you imagine every time you turn on the flashlight, it like jolted out of your hand?
I mean,
the recoil.
That's kind of how that's how Ducat's ship felt.
you're joking, but flashlights do literally have recoil. It's just so little you can't notice. That's how solar sails work, because light has momentum.
So
If you
yeah,
shoot out light
this
one
is
way,
exactly-
your object's going to move out the other way, just very, very tiny amount.
just like Ducat shooting the bird of prey.
Just like Ducat shooting the bird of prey.
And War firing a purple space bazooka with a cylinder latch. Got it.
Everything else Worf did in that movie was a joke, so it's not surprising that they gave him this.
Garrick, can you... Not Garrick. You're definitely not Garrick. Ducat, can you take your hand off your gun for a minute? You're threatening Kira. You are a helpless freighter.
Yeah.
I don't know, it sounds a little dangerous, Ducat.
It might blow up. It might all blow up.
So for dilithium, Klingons will attack you. If you just have regular
Yeah.
cargo like waste, they won't attack you.
Dilithium's hard to find.
He did say it was refined too.
Dukat, don't push it.
Pushing it is all Dukat does.
That's true.
Pushing the Cardassian Empire forward.
He's making Cardassia strong again.
Making Cardassia brave again.
It was just demoted by the Detapa Council. So, civilian government.
Don't
That means
worry,
he
give it
gets
a
to do it
season, he
again.
will be the Detapa Consul.
You're not wrong.
How do they ever get to find the bird of prey?
What is maximum warp on this thing? Like 3.2?
Something awful.
It looks like the generational ship in Voyager.
I was gonna say it's like, oh no, Malcolm's boomer ship is gonna cave on us.
Wait, Dukat, what do you mean begin modifications? You got to the target position and you weren't ready? What if they were there? You were expecting them to be there and you weren't ready yet.
It's okay,
That's a good
trust the
point.
plan. Trust the plan.
I do like this
Yes.
bridge set though, with the curved walls and the way they did it. I mean, it's not a big set, but they did a good job on it for what
Yeah.
it
It
was.
looks very unique.
That's
I like
good.
it.
Faint signal, the triangle shape you missed was in the last episode. It was Shakar's ship. He drives a triangle.
He drives it like he throws it in reverse and puts his arm over
Someone
the
drives
chair.
a triangle for
Yeah.
him.
That's
Is it-
Bajor
whoa.
Force One.
Is his outfit bending?
It is. Yes, it is.
It looks far less rigid than it is implied to look in every other scene. It looks much more
Yeah,
like costume.
I thought it was
now.
supposed to be metal, but unless
I like
Dukat's
the-
just really, really heavy.
I like the big
No.
leather cushion on the back of his captain's chair.
Is it bent in a different way now? Wasn't it curved to the left last time?
Yeah. He shifted
It's made of
position.
plastic and rubber.
Oh yeah, no,
Put
but
it
it
together for
looks
one of-
like rubber now. Oh man,
They're doing
it
their
moved
best.
again.
Are they just reversing the camera shot?
No,
Are they flipping it?
He leans to the left and it bows, and he leans to the right and it bows with his neck makeup.
Oh, there's the bird of prey. That was fast.
Hope their modifications are done.
Yeah. It's a good thing the bird of prey is actually even here. Somehow they followed a cloaked bird of prey.
You can see the
Well, they
edge of
deduced
his
where it was
makeup.
going.
I mean, they guessed.
I saw the edge of Ducat's face makeup.
Okay, but what if they take the bait and what if they just keep their shields up?
It's the Defiant Bridge set, right? Basically.
Is it?
No.
The quarters
just a
are the
cargo
Defiant.
They just built the set. It's a small set. They could have built this anywhere just for this episode.
Gotcha.
It's so dark.
Are you actually? Are you still a Gull? I thought you were demoted.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Shouldn't you be like Glyn Dukat?
He's posturing.
I guess no one would just know his name if they changed it to Glyn.
I mean,
Well, Glenn is like ensign.
like a
isn't it?
lieutenant.
Isn't that a low rank?
Gull is captain, so he's basically, I guess, if when you're an admiral, you're still a captain.
Because I just remember in the episode The Wounded, which also featured Gul Dukat with sideburns. He had two aides with him, Glendaro and Glentella.
Have you ever read this story called the Iliad? It talks about a Trojan horse.
Oh, that was effective. Now shoot them again. You don't really even have shields, Ducat. Yeah, shields are gone.
They're adrift. Just go along the backside of them. Then they won't be able to fire.
Yeah.
It's a major flaw of the Bird of Prey. It can only fire straight forward. Same as the Defiant, really. But
Well, the Defiant has other phasers and things behind them, but I don't think we've ever seen that in a Klingon ship. They always fire straight on.
I remember being surprised at one point. I saw some kind of ship have a... Oh, it was the Romulan Warbird. It has a phaser ray in the middle of its thing. Yeah, some kind of ship. Yeah, I remember. It was the Romulan Warbird, the Didaredex. It, normally it fires forward, but it has a little thing in the middle, in the empty bit. That's also a phaser.
Interesting. And then, of course, there's Galaxy Class that has the circle phaser. It can fire in all directions.
Yep. Except below. So just hang out below it.
There are a couple phaser arrays on the nacelles, on the nacelle pylons.
So did they just like pull a Star Trek 3 on them?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Except they're not going to set it to
It's the classic
self-destruct.
switcheroo strategy.
They're just going to detonate it with a weapon.
Get out! Get out of there!
Switcheroo.
This is going to take forever to repair. You blew a massive hole in the bottom of the Bird of Prey. 2 massive holes.
Yeah, it's a drift.
It's a good thing it happened to drift into the exact right position to shoot him. Because that thing was spinning.
Oh, what a line!
Wait, which line?
Your daughter.
You're the terrorist. You tell me.
Yeah. We.
Did the Cardassians? Did the Klingons declare war on Cardassia yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've already invaded.
Okay.
Yeah, Cardassia's screwed.
The Way of the Warrior, right? The first episode of the season, they went in.
Thank you.
Wait, when were you ever a legate? When did that happen?
When he was military advisor, I guess.
Yeah, they got promoted.
God, if you can reverse engineer that cloaking device, that'd be fantastic for Cardassia. But no, he's just gonna go waste the Bird of Prey.
Yes, your crew of 5 will definitely be able to get that done on an alien spaceship that you just named.
Man, they're gonna have to go deal with the targs in the cargo hold. It's gonna be a pain.
I guess whatever
God,
they have for
everywhere.
cargo wasn't that important.
The barrel of dog in the kitchen fell over in the blast. It's going to take days. They got everywhere.
I always love how functional the Klingon ships look. How they have like the support braces and struts and stuff all through the bridge and everything.
But it's not even carpeted. It doesn't have nice wood paneling.
Well, it's to resist the rocks falling. See, all that support keeps the rocks from falling. The ships with the carpets don't have all the support, so the rocks fall out.
I guess the only thing Gul Dukat was hauling was like, VHS players and old DVDs.
Oh yeah, it must have been completely irrelevant. It's all gone.
Who cares about that?
I mean, surely the Decapa console wants to reverse engineer the ship. Just take it to Cardassia. It's more valuable that way.
He's not a scientist. He's a military man.
And what's to fight? You basically already lost. The only reason the Klingons didn't destroy Cardassia Prime already is the Federation got him to pull back a bit. You did not get a military victory here.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Acting.
It's the same
Hell
plot.
yeah.
Quark is the last real Ferengi because of, I don't know, free healthcare.
Social
or whatever.
reforms.
Yeah, and Worf is the last real Klingon because Gowron is blah blah blah.
Okay,
Picard is
yeah,
the
but you
last
had an
true-
entire planet of Bajorans. You've got like 5 people. Okay, Ducat's got some crazy eyes going on. There we go, he fixed it. He's okay now.
Oh no, they're there again.
Oh, they're back.
Oh hi Doc, what do you want?
Dog? You got a dog?
I have a dog.
Do you have a pet cam?
I don't, but I put pictures up one time.
Yeah.
I think I did.
That space station. God, he's just insidious.
Come on, Kara, wouldn't you love to kill some Klingons? Like a lot of Klingons?
Yeah, she's so tempted. She wants to go from fighting the Cardassians to join their struggle.
I mean, to be
Join
fair,
the man she probably hates the most.
one of her character flaws is that she does really actually want to fight.
She does.
Everything that Ducat does mostly works, except Kira.
But I mean, it's like Kira... It's like... It's like fighting to free Germany after it got occupied when it lost World War II. It's like, it's still Nazi Germany. There's still issues here. Maybe we should do some reforms first.
His spoon's all wrinkled.
He's under a lot of
Did he like hit his head on a beam and they just didn't fix the
Oh
makeup?
yeah.
I don't know.
Is that?
I just think we had like medium shots on him before, and now we have finally a close up. So
Yeah, I definitely think that makeup is not supposed to look like that. That is...
It's
He hit
wrinkling
it
with
off.
his forehead. I saw it move when he is.
it's been a long day.
I mean,
Yeah,
look
it's
at
just
Damar. He
wrinkled.
keeps his spoon clean. But yeah, Damar's makeup is definitely different here.
It's dark.
It has a lot of contrast in the various ridges.
Yeah, despite you saying that he keeps his ridges clean, it looked quite dirty there.
Well, he keeps his spoon clean. His spoon.
Well, okay.
The spoon's the important part.
It's obviously the part we're looking at.
That
You put the blue on it.
Do you?
Cardassians are brave, man.
Oh, good jobs, y'all. But Klingons love knife fights. You're definitely gonna get in a knife fight here.
The best way is to bring a gun to the knife fight.
Have we seen a Klingon ship without a knife fight?
Yeah, I think the vast majority of Klingon ships we see, there's definitely a knife fight. The only one I can think of is the one where they go and get Jadzia into Stovacor by exploding that star.
Oh yeah, they were all pretty on board about that.
Yeah, although she got into a knife fight with Ducat at the end. Oh no, he just bangs her on the head with his big reptilian head.
Oh, no more Kira, freedom fighter.
You were. She agrees.
Do you really want to fight to free Cardassia, Kira? No.
It's not even remotely her cause.
Yeah.
It's like, bye guys, I'm going to join the Irish Republican Army.
So is there a B plot this episode?
Not really, no. It's all
Yeah,
A.
I guess.
Yeah, we've been with
This
Ducat the whole time.
I mean, does the all count as the B plot? We've only talked to her like twice, but
I
She seems
guess
to be the little. Yeah, it's still the same thing.
Zial's more like the C, maybe the E plot.
Is the Z plot.
she's just adjacent.
I just realized how fucked up this actually is. Like, I'm not saying Major Kira shouldn't have done what she did saving Zial and all that. I get that. But at the same time, she's always like not controlling, but like interfering with Zial all the time.
Yeah, I can.
Why do you care so much?
I mean, and I get it. She's doing the right thing, and from like a single episode point, I get it.
Yeah, she's saving her from a war zone, and she's like a teenager. Just
Yeah, no,
get her out of there.
I totally get it, and that's a pretty. I mean, that goes against her culture, and
Almost looked remorseful.
and she's fucking with parenting. Is all I'm saying. With that, parenting of another culture, let's say. I'm not saying it's right or wrong necessarily, but
She's meddling.
it's meddling a lot.
But Kira loves to meddle.
Yeah,
It's like her favorite pastime.
yeah. Let the man be a parent, and sometimes, a lot of times, parents are fucked up, and I get it. But
Yeah, of all
Come on.
people to allow to just be a bad parent, I think we can just let Ducat be a bad parent. There's not a whole
Yeah,
lot
I
we
mean-
can do.
yeah,
Let's be
you have
fair.
to.
Her dad is Space Hitler. We can separate that.
I mean, I feel like, look, like any biracial child, you kind of need connection to your other culture besides the one that you grew up in. And so, I don't know. I feel like that's why Kira has a vested interest in Zial. But yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
not
but
supposed
but
to
that's
interfere in
that-
anyone else's parenting. You're right.
that's true. But at the same time, she's been with Ducat for like less than a year at this point, and she's been with the Breen otherwise. So it's not like the other side of the coin. She doesn't even have a basis for a coin yet. And Kira's, I mean, I don't know. I have a completely different view, having done like psych evaluations on parents. You just gotta let some fucked up parents be
Yeah,
fucked up
right.
unless it's illegal. You know?
Right, and but even when it's illegal, foster homes not a great place. So when you make the decision to take a child from their parents, it's a pretty drastic decision. Even if it's warranted, you still got to think twice. Because foster home's not a great place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the future where things are better.
Yeah,
That's true.
except for the genocide and war.
I mean, every other week, the Enterprise drops a new orphan home, so like they must have a good system in place.
So, speaking of experience, DP, I hope you'll be joining us next week for The Loss on TNG.
Ooh.
Which one is
The
that?
Lo- That's the one where Troy loses her powers and she
Troy.
needs a counselor.
Oh,
It's
the
Oh,
the episode I probably hate the most as a psychologist.
And how?
Because Troy is an awful psychologist. She's
Without her
terrible.
powers.
Oh yeah, she's awful.
I mean,
She's
I remember in
awful.
that episode she accidentally helped someone.
Esri Dax is also an awful counselor.
And Esri has an excuse at least.
Yeah,
Esri-
Esri's just kind of forced.
She might have been perfectly competent before the joining.
Or before Cisco said, you don't need any more training. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
This was pretty clear about just helping you because he didn't want on the station. You know, maintaining relationships with previous hosts.
Yeah, the loss is kind of awful. But that's the next episode, so hey, what are you gonna do about it? I'm not skipping it.
Yay.
I will do everything I can to be there. Not 100%. I might actually have a thing, but
Okay.
I will try to be there.
The other episodes for that day are Data's Day, which is excellent. He's in fact corresponding with Bruce Maddox, because they're friends now. And then the last episode is also Gul Dukat-centric, it's The Wounded. Gul Dukat with sideburns.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't play Ducat though; he's somebody else, but it's him.
Golma
Yeah,
set.
he's... Right.
Is this like the first TNG Cardassian episode, or am I thinking of
This is the first ever Cardassian episode. The
it?
Wounded.
Alright.
It's just a good one. We see the Nebula class ship. It's good. That's a great episode, actually. I can't
Again,
wait to see
singing
it.
to the minstrel boy. The war has gone.
All right, deafening myself now.
Whoa.
So there is the...
Yikes.
That episode does have... Since it's the first Cardassians, they are still working out the design. They look weird. What is this head thing they have?
Yeah.
What is,
yeah.
what is this?
That protects the spoon. You know what that's for. Come on.
It's clearly Guardians.
It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if
it's
someone
a
just... If someone hits right in the middle there, you're gonna break the person's nose.
I kind of like the chest uniform. They look like shock troopers.
You know what this looks like? This looks like an upside down spoon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think that's a Cardassian spoon.
Is that
And then next week, Sunday, we have the episode Sons of Moog, the Bar Association, and Accession.
Yes. Bar Association is one of my favorite DS9 episodes.
Love it.
The Ferengi unionization.
Oh, that one.
Then Accession is the one where the other emissary shows up. And Cisco and that other guy have an emissary off.
Oh, the problematic
We
one.
must return to our Jaras.
Yeah, the one with
emissary.
the caste system and slavery and... yeah.
Where they show progressive thoughts
And
that
how-
are this is better.
It might be saying something about how maybe we shouldn't go back to old values, because they were kind of screwed up.
This is gonna be interesting. It's a good couple episodes.
I just love Bar Association because Rom actually quotes the Communist Manifesto.
Oh yeah, he does.
Oh, man.
You have nothing to lose but your chains. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. Even though there aren't like really chains, they could just say I quit and go somewhere else. I think Quark is actually chaining them.
Do you think Ferengi have problems getting hired in non-Ferengi establishments because Ferengi are generally aggressive with business practice?
Oh, I thought you were going to say because people are racist against the Ferengi. But I think both are true, probably.
That was the first Brunt episode, wasn't it?
Is that the first Brunt episode? It might be.
No, Brunt shows up
Oh, the
during...
movie.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
The Moogie.
Oh, right.
The second Brunt episode.
His name is Brunt. FCA.
Yeah, not Brunt FCC. That's the people who got rid of cursing on Star Trek that they were trying to have. It's Brunt FCA. So yeah,
Brunt FCC.
Yeah, Brunt's dialogue was just one nonstop bleep.
Alright, I think that's it for today. Yeah, unless anyone else got anything specific they want to talk about.
Oh yeah, stick
Thank you,
around
Ryan.
for Threshold.
No, we're not watching Threshold. You guys can hang around in the voice chat channel if you want to watch Threshold. But I am out. I require solitude. You must leave me now.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat. Thank you,
Juice.
comrades.
See you all next week.
See you next week.